Welcome to another episode of On the Block with Jen. I'm YouTube's bad girl, Jen. How y'all doing, babies? Good to see you. Hey, beautiful people. I know it's late, so I'll try not to yell too much. Not. Um, as you guys know, you can see me at On the Block with Jen on TikTok, on Instagram. And if you want to Gmail me a topic or you want to discuss something I talked about on the show, but you want to do it to me personally, pause. But you want to send me a message personally, I am on the block with Jen at Gmail. If you want to see more of me, because you're not getting enough here, go to On the Block with Jen at Instagram, on Instagram. And then email on the block with Jen at Gmail. And then my funny stuff, I'm even on TikTok, mi gente. Some people like TikTok more than the other social medias. On the block with Jen on TikTok as well. So it's a little late, okay? I'm going to mosey on through this topic like molasses, just something I found interesting that Fat Joe announced recently. And I was like, it got me to thinking. But before we get to the topic, don't forget you can support the show by sending me a super chat in the chat. If super chat ain't your thing and it's easier for you to do Cash App, it is scrolling on the bottom. Do you see that there? It is scrolling on the bottom. It says buy me a smoothie. And I really buy smoothies with my Cash Apps that you send. So my Cash App is also on the block with Jen. If you're catching the replay, you can do it now. You can do it later. I could be asleep and you could do it. Doesn't matter. I will get it. Okay. So thank you so much for you guys that support this show. Okay. With your pockets or with your time. Both are good. Okay. But both are currency here. Also, feel free to leave me comments in the comment section. That keeps me in the algorithm. Okay. Even if you're just sliding by it and watch the whole show. Please, if you're here and you're watching me already, click like or subscribe. If you haven't subscribed and you're a new subby, hey, new subby, I hope you like it here. I'll make it fun. If you're one of my regulars, okay, you guys know what to do in the chat with your wrenches. Don't let nobody get out of pocket, right? Right? I like the panel to get out of pocket, right? Because I can keep my eye on everybody and intervene when I have to. You know, we get out of pocket up here. We get the yelling and verbal fisticuffs and throwing things across the screen. But then we end in love, don't we always? Right? We give y'all heat. We entertain y'all, but we come back to the love. I have good news, well, bittersweet news about Shaquella Robinson. She was the young woman, 25 years old, who was murdered in Mexico on vacation with her friends, right? You guys have probably seen the video. It went viral, that horrible video of her getting beat up while she was buck naked in a hotel room by one of the people that were traveling with her, a woman that was traveling with her. It was about 5 or 6 friends that traveled to Mexico. And one of them decided to beat up Shaquella Robinson, who was not fighting back. So the bittersweet news is that the FBI has launched an investigation into her death. Remember when I first brought you the story, they were chalking it up to alcohol poisoning and then, maybe some accident. And the people that killed her partook or stayed quiet about it or thought it was cute or funny, right? They was just roaming free. So now the FBI has launched an investigation, and thank yourselves if you shared the story. I told you guys shared the story. I shared the story, and I knew it was going to put pressure. I knew it was going to put pressure on them opening an investigation, and they have opened an investigation. So, we have the power to do good on these machines. We do, it goes beyond just trying to drag people online and following up with beef and, let's see who's fighting who or what celebrity pulled out their titty today or who's dating who. You could actually use this shit, this hellhole that we call social media, and you could use it for good. So an FBI investigation has been launched. And, it's good news, but it's bittersweet because there's still, 2 parents on the planet who are mourning their child being brutally assaulted, which ultimately caused her death. Hopefully this will give them some sort of peace. Is the, we could hope for them. It's not going to fix it. It's not going to bring her back, but at least her family will get justice. I would like to see that woman who was beating her up on the video. I want to see her dragged to and fro in court. It's probably going to be some sort of manslaughter charge. because there was a fight, right? And all her lawyer has to do is argue that she didn't mean to do it. But the video is brutal. The girl's naked. Shaquella is naked in the video, and she's not fighting back. And one of her friends who was recording, I guess they thought it was funny. I mean, you would think your friend would break up a fight amongst other friends, but they were recording instead. One of them was recording, and one of them was FaceTiming somebody else so that person could see the fight, right? Friends like that, who needs enemies? And add insult to injury, they left that girl there. They left that girl in Mexico and returned back home from their vacation, and they left her body out there and just told her mother, oh, it must have been alcohol poisoning. Turns out a bone in her neck was broken, a bone in her spine was broken. Pretty brutal. Those injuries are usually associated with car accidents or falls from high places. So it goes to show how badly this girl was beaten by that other animal. And she didn't fight back. She's no longer here, but at least, again, some justice will come to that family, and they deserve justice. Tonight's topic is something that I thought about after hearing something that Fat Joe said about Michael Jordan. Tonight's topic is, should entertainers have a freedom of speech clause in their contracts? Something that I think about a lot is I see a lot of celebrities get in trouble and lose sponsors and endorsements and sneaker deals and liquor deals and all kinds of deals, right? Celebrities are constantly losing deals. Not only that, but they're also like, every time they say something, you'll get like, something people don't agree with, or one person finds offensive, then 500 people come and agree with that person that it was offensive, and then it's hot on the block for like a week or two, and then everybody goes back to their business. But when people go back to their business after their full outrage and causing a ruckus against this celebrity, they go back to their lives, but the celebrity usually ends up losing millions and millions of dollars. And how do you feel about that, guys? Do you think that people should pay for their opinions? Is there some envy? Amongst the commoners, and they like to see wealthy people get hit in the pocket, right? Or fail at something. I am of the belief that there is, a tinge or maybe a lot of jealousy and envy for the wealthy and the rich, right? There's always been, a lot of us, are looking at celebrities, and it's like, oh my God, our noses are pressed up against the glass. Like, look how they live. Look at all the money they have, right? That's what happens to people. Then envy sets in, jealousy sets in. So is there some envy and jealousy amongst the commoners where they like to see these entertainers be destroyed, or kind of destroyed, or almost destroyed, or just like to see them lose money, depending on who they like, right? Because if it's a celebrity you like, or some art from a celebrity you like, then you defend them to no end. I've seen you guys defend rapists, pedophiles. I've seen you guys defend racists. Depends on how good their art is. Say like if Beyonce says something out of pocket, there's going to be maybe 200 or 300 people saying she shouldn't have said that, but you best believe there's going to be thousands saying, no, she didn't do anything wrong. She didn't do anything wrong, because, Beyonce has a lot of fans. So it's conditional. It's relative to who you like and who you don't like, right? There's a lot of hypocrisy also in it. There's jealousy, there's envy. But do you think that it's just? Before I get into what Fat Joe said about Michael Jordan, speaking of Beyonce, I want to talk about Kelly Rowland. We know Kelly Rowland, the chocolate half of Destiny's Child. I don't really count Michelle because she's the newbie. I'm talking about the veterans of Destiny's Child, Kelly Rowland and Beyonce. And Kelly Rowland was on the Hot 97 morning show. What's it called? With Ebro and Rosenberg. You guys know the show I'm talking about. You don't have to be out of New York to know the show I'm talking about. It's basically Ebro in the morning. Anyway, long story short, Kelly Rowland was on there, and Rosenberg was interviewing her, and he was doing the, trying to, what I would say, pit her against Beyonce, basically insulting her with questions, what I thought were kind of insulting. But that goes in any case with vloggers, bloggers, radio personalities. If you're part of a group, let's say if NSYNC let's say if NSYNC was on that morning show, they're gonna try to use Justin Timberlake, right? Because Justin Timberlake is the one that branched off and became the most famous. So of course they're gonna ask the other guys. So how do you feel that Justin is the most famous one? Because everybody wants that clip to be able to use of their show, right? So in gossip and bullshit fashion, Rosenberg was asking Kelly Rowland, how does it feel to be next to this woman who's, such a huge light, such a huge star, right? How does it feel to be working with her? Like, in other words, you're not that. You're no Beyonce. So how does it feel to work, with Beyonce, this light, right? How does it feel? And, it was, some people may say it was insulting. I think it was a bit insulting, poor taste maybe, but that's his job. That's basically his job, right? To try to get those moments. All journalists, not just the low-level assholes that are on radio shows, but all journalists, Barbara Walters, Oprah Winfrey, like they're all trying to get those moments. They're all trying to get you to cry or react to something or talk about something, a big event that happened in your life, even if it happened 20 years ago, right? You can go and interview and they'll try to get that moment. So was Rosenberg just trying to get a moment out of her? Luckily for Beyonce and Destiny's Child, Kelly Rowland is ground. So, she gave him a good explanation. She defended herself. She was like, well, I'm a star. I'm a light as well, right? And we, light attracts light. Stars attract stars. So she was trying to say Beyonce is that, but me too. Right? So she gave Rosenberg that type of pushback where it's like, yeah, she's all that, but me too. Beyonce's a star, but so am I. She's a light, but so am I. Light attracts light, right? Some of you may agree. Some of you may be like, fuck no, Beyonce is the biggest star and Kelly Rowland is the sidekick. I always personally thought that Matthew Knowles purposely always had Beyonce flanked with women who were not mainstream attractive. Now, let me qualify that. Okay, let me elaborate, because I know a lot of people are going to be like, Kelly Rowland is fine. I like Kelly Rowland more than I like Beyonce. And you have that right to think that. I'm talking about in America, there's a mainstream attraction, and the closer you are to whiteness, the more records you sell. If you notice, a lot of the Latin and Black female artists go blonde. We see them all do it, from Rihanna to Jennifer Lopez, Beyonce. Mary J. Blige has never come out from under that blonde wig. Shakira. Blonde artists sell more records statistically, and that's why you see so many pop stars go completely blonde or wear blonde wigs, because statistically blonde pop artists sell more. And what has Beyonce been the majority of a career? Blonde to dirty blonde, right? We've rarely seen Beyonce full brunette, her natural hair color. It's always been, blonde or dirty blonde. So it's marketing, right? There's nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't recommend you go in any business and not use the marketing tools that are going to catapult you to the top, right? So shout out to the people that know the numbers and know the fucking marketing, right? Madonna, no saint. Yes, Madonna as well. Was always the platinum blonde, trying to follow in the footsteps of Marilyn Monroe. Hit that blonde. So all the pop stars do it. All of them. Black, white, Latin, they all do it because blondes sell more fucking records, right? So with that said, although Kelly Rowland may be your favorite one, Matthew Knowles very strategically kept light, bright Beyonce flanked by two darker skinned women, right? Can we all agree to that? Like, do we have to play stupid because we want to uplift this person or that person? At the end of the day, your feelings don't sell records. Marketing does, right? And I feel what Matthew Knowles did was, I'm going to keep light, bright blonde in the middle, always in a frame, right? Because if you have Kelly and Michelle here, then Beyonce is forever in a frame, right? Now, I don't know how you feel about that, but it's marketing, and Matthew knew that was marketing. So, Kelly Rowland pushed back anyway and was like, no, she's a light and I'm a light. She's this, she's that. And this, we open the doors for people, and somebody opened the door for her, and she opened the door, and then we're opening doors, right? So it looked like she was offended, but she handled it very, very well, very, very professionally, right? I thought so. And then, of course, span of 24 hours, the internet goes wild. And now Rosenberg has apologized for offending Kelly Rowland, right? He made light of it. He was like, hey, I apologize, blah, 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 I misspoke, but I'm still playing Kelly and Nelly at my wedding, right? He made light of it. So, the internet will be a buzz about that for the next fucking 24 hours or whatever the fuck ever. Then y'all will be on to something else. I don't know how you motherfuckers don't have ulcers. I don't know how people don't. I have to check the statistics on ulcers, because I don't know how y'all don't get ulcers or have like heart palpitations. Like, you guys are mad like in 24-hour intervals. Like every 24 hours, there's something else that you're pretending to be mad about. But understand, even if you're not really mad about it, it's still affecting you, because you're telling your brain, yeah, let me go online to talk about this shit and act like I'm mad about it. That can't be healthy. That can't be healthy. But do you. Hope that heart never gives out on you. Okay. So I thought Kelly handled it very well, very professionally. But, it's the same. We see it with Dame Dash and Jay-Z, wherever Dame Dash goes, because Jay-Z was the more popular one, the more successful one. And some of you may say, I like Dame Dash better, but we're talking numbers and popularity. Jay-Z is more successful and powerful and popular. But everywhere Dame goes, what do? They ask him about Jay-Z, to the point where he even says, y'all are always asking me about Jay-Z. Y'all talking about Jay-Z because they want that moment. The vloggers, they want that moment. The journalists, they want that moment, right? And if you're sitting there and someone's more famous than you that was connected to you, they're going to ask about that person because they don't have that person, right? So everybody, we would all do that. Anybody who's into, I know you go online and be like, they shouldn't have asked that question. But if you guys were in the business of journalism and you had Kelly Rowland there, you're probably going to ask about Beyonce too, because you need that moment, right? Or you need that raise, right? That is what they do. That is their job. I've never had anything against Wendy Williams, but I've seen Wendy Williams drag to and fro. And now all the tough guys are doing exactly what Wendy Williams used to do. Think about it. They used to drag Wendy Williams for being a gossip queen. And why are you saying that? And now all the tough guys, all the rappers, from Gilly to Joe Budden to academics to all these tough Flex, and like all these tough guys who hated the way Wendy Williams got down. Now they all a bunch of gossiping bitches. All of them. All of them. They talk about rap beef all day. They talk about who's fucking who's right. Now they're all Wendy Williams. So it's interesting to me. It's just like when they used to call Will Smith soft, right? Because he crossed over, became very commercial. Not that he was ever a gangster rapper, but he was a rapper nonetheless, right? And rappers they're supposed to have that, that code, that street code, right? And then he started being, the world's happiest Negro. And everybody came down, oh yeah, there go that acting. And now all the rappers are acting, right? You got Ice Cube in movies. Right? Everybody, all the rap, you got Method Man, right? Everybody's in the movies. Redman, all the rappers are in the movies now. They're all trying to get in the movies. Dave East, right? So, in that position, I'm sure you do the same thing. If that was your job, you have to do your fucking job, right? And I get that. So before people start saying, oh, he shouldn't have asked her that. He shouldn't have that. It's like that's his fucking job, love it or hate it, right? Do you think Beyonce is the more famous one? Do you think Beyonce is the more attractive one? Kelly may be more attractive to you, but in mainstream America, right, the closer you are to whiteness, the more you sell. So it's kind of like looking a gift horse in the mouth, because you'll say, yeah, why are they doing that to Kelly Rowland? But the reason why Beyonce is who she is because she remained blonde for most of her career. It is because she is lighter skinned than the other two. That is a fact. That is not fiction. That is a fact. Beyonce is bigger than the other two, not only because she had the marketing dream team, okay, in her pockets, but because she remained blonde for the majority of her career, and she's light-skinned. And that's what happens here in America, right? Whether you like it or not. And Kelly could be your favorite one all day. I'm just the messenger. I'm going to drop the link in case someone wants to come up, and I'm going to talk about the topic: should entertainers have a freedom of speech clause? Brought to you by something that Fat Joe said that I found interesting. Yeah, yeah. And by all means, if you have a rebuttal for me, you're like, Jen, that's not true. You can let me know. You can let me know. I won't be mad. Hilarious. Future, the rapper Future. Speaking of rappers, he said he wants to try marriage because it's a thing that he hasn't tried yet. And what I found funny about that is that that's how most people go into marriage. Now we may look at Future like he's a fool. He's like up to baby mama number 8 now, I believe. And they're all like, he has kids like, he has like eight baby mamas. But he said that marriage isn't a life he hasn't, marriage is not a life he's lived yet. So he'd like to experience it one day. Right. So I guess he's going to pick one of the 8 baby mamas, with the exception of Ciara, because she got a good deal now. Ciara ain't going nowhere near Future. So that leaves him 7 baby mamas, I think, to start a family with. Right. So he has quite the harem of baby mamas. I guess he could pick one and settle down and marry one of them. But yeah, Future, of all people, serial baby daddy, said that that's something that one day he wants to do. Right, so good luck to Future. Yeah, yeah. The Clue Channel said Kelly is. Yeah, no. Yeah. Jamael, is it Jamael or Jamel? Says it will be hypocritical of the Constitution. I thought that we were supposed to have freedom of speech. I thought so too. Not so much when you have not so much when you sign a contract with brands, though, it seems like to me. All right, guys, so let's talk about really quickly Fat Joe. I'm gonna bring up World Kings early. What's up, World Kings?
What's the word?
What's the word? I want to talk about something Fat Joe said that I was like, oh, damn.
Okay, yeah, talk about that because I got to get on you with that Beyonce thing after that.
Well, no, then let's do the Beyonce thing first because that's what I just spoke about.
Okay, yeah. I wanted to say that's not a fact just because she was blonde and she's more light. You got to look at every group. Mm-hmm. Every group has a star. Mm-hmm. From the Jackson 5 to the Temptations. Mm-hmm. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis, to
right.
To who else? Beyonce is a superstar, a megastar. Kelly Rowland is a star in her own right.
Of course.
But Beyonce, I believe, in my opinion, I believe she can sing better than her. I believe she's a better performer. She's a songwriter.
Oh.
She's a look at Jen, you you funny. I believe that there's a reason why these now I do believe in what you're saying though. I do. There is truth in what you're saying.
Okay.
Because like the lighter you are, the closer you are to whiteness, yes, the more you do sell, the more you do get opportunities, the more you do get pushed out in the forefront. But in Beyonce's case, I believe it's different. I just believe that every group has a Beyonce or a Michael Jackson or mm-hmm. Bobby Brown or mm-hmm. Now all these groups are talented is what I'm saying, but you always have maybe one or two that and that's why they make them the lead singer. Mm-hmm. Because I don't believe it was just because of her look or anything. I believe that it was because of maybe her look, but also her performance skills. And then later in her career, what mm-hmm. kept her going was her performance, her writing abilities, her just everything. So I do agree with you, but I disagree with saying that that's the only reason why.
Okay, did I say that's the only reason why?
Yeah, you said that was a fact.
I said the fact is that she's more popular because of those things. That's a fact.
Okay. Yeah, but she's way more popular because of her performance.
Okay, so I think we're saying both things can be true.
Okay, yeah.
Because I do agree, like a lot of people are gonna be like, no, and everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But I do agree with you. I do think she's the better entertainer. I do think she's the better dancer.
She's the better singer.
She's the better singer. You know what I mean? She's just, you know what I mean? But when you're up there and you're a curvy girl and you're very light skinned and blonde, you're going to stand out in the middle of Kelly and, oh God, Michelle.
Hey, you better leave Michelle alone.
I'm gonna give you the block shit, okay? Keep it a hundo over here, World Kings. All right?
Yeah, but like I said, but like you said, you were just playing her song at the beginning.
Yes.
She got hits.
Yes.
So like I believe all these groups, and that's the thing. All these groups have like super talented people. You just have the ones that got it. It's just like it, and it's just the way it is. It's just like NSYNC. It is even with white groups. NSYNC, the Backstreet Boys,
Justin Timberlake.
Mm-hmm. But you have those groups like New Edition, where you had the lead singer, which was Bobby Brown, and then what's my boy name? Ralph, and then Ralph.
Tresvant. Mm-hmm.
But every last one of those people in that group got success solo.
Mm-hmm.
They also had solo success. So, but did none of them have as big a success as Bobby Brown?
Right.
So you see, it's always going to be the levels, but that's not to knock those brothers, because you had Bill Biv DeVoe, you had Johnny Gill that did his own thing, you had Ralph that did his own thing, you had Bobby that did his own thing, and then they did their thing as a group, just like Kelly. The only one that didn't do their own thing in Destiny's Child was Michelle. I think she did like
she did a bunch of gospel stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. She did gospel, but I'm saying she's the only one that didn't have a hit. Because Kelly Rowland had a couple hits. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So
but I just want to say that. I didn't want to take too much of the time before you go to the next topic.
No, it's okay. We're here. We'll be here for a little bit. So I think Kelly Rowland, personally, I think her career is very similar to Seven Streeter. You know the singer, right? Seven?
Yeah,
She did the collab with Chris Brown.
I
think they're in the same vein, right? Of course, Kelly's talented. Of course, she can sing. But I think they're in the same vein, right? Where it's like, I'm not going to be pushing people over to go see Kelly in concert. And if someone said I got free tickets to Kelly Rowland, I'd probably sell them. Like, I'm just keeping it 100, right? I'm not that interested in seeing Kelly be up there and sing Motivation. But
I mean, when that first came out, though, everybody was all the ladies was rocking that.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't drive by a lady, or you couldn't kick it with a lady without her playing that. And in the club, you know what I'm saying? But I feel what you're saying. Ain't nobody like, hey, y'all, Kelly Rowland's over here. We gonna go to the concert. Now, if Beyonce there, everybody like, okay, Beyonce there, because then you also have where she could be there with Jay-Z. So you got different shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they went on a tour together, so you kind of got the best of both worlds with that one.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. Yeah, so do you think that he was out of pocket for asking her those questions, or it was just business?
I think he was a little out of pocket, but I think it was business. They're in the business of ratings. They're in the business, and they're actually plummeting. They used to hold the crown in New York City for a long time. It was Hot 97. They used to hold the crown back in the 90s and in some of the 2000s. Well, they did.
I remember. Let me ask you.
You from New York? You from New York? You know.
Yeah. So let me
ask you.
Power
105 took over though.
Do you think
I think they're the number one.
Do you think that radio in general is kind of dying off, or do you think that? Because I think that they need to switch people out. That's my personal opinion. People are like, no, you don't have. My personal opinion is everybody on the Breakfast Club should be switched out. Opinion.
Angela Yee's about to leave.
Right, she's about to leave. I think Paul is tired. I think DJ Envy, I think he's tired. Like they should switch them out and bring in fresh blood. I think the same thing with Ebro and Rosenberg. Like bring in.
I think they should. I think they should too. I think it should be like a university type of thing. I think they should have people come in. I think it should be like a college thing. I think they should have people come in, stay there like 4 years, then bring the next batch in. But at the same token, those are both Hot 97 and 105. Those are cult followings. Like us that are not from New York City, we didn't know shit about that until you had your Ebros and Charlemagne's, and y'all knew that because I lived in Jersey too, so I knew about that y'all grew up with that on the radio. You know what I'm saying? That was just the radio. But as far as when it came to the internet, there's gonna be people, even when Angela Yee leaves, they're still gonna be able to be the same, but it's not gonna be the same without her.
Yeah, see, her
and hold on, just I'm gonna be real quick. And radio is dying anyway. So
right,
that's just answering your first question. Yeah.
Right. Like radio is kind of dying with all these, podcasts and everybody's on, everybody anyway. So what's up, No Saint?
Hey, yo. How you doing tonight?
I'm really good.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I said talk to me before I get into the next topic.
Okay, well I had a little kid emergency. So what subject were you on just now? I was watching earlier and I know you were talking about a few different things.
Oh, just basically the Kelly Rowland being asked about Beyonce and how it feels to be working with such a big star and on stage with such a big star and a bright light. And Kelly Rowland kind of like clapped back and was like, well, I'm a star too. I'm a light too. And light attracts light, and
yeah,
not these many words. She was like, why do women have to be pit against other women? And it was a big to do. And she's like, then Rosenberg apologized. And then, her fans were supporting. And then she made a statement. She wanted to thank her fans for supporting her. And I'm like, when did everybody get so fucking soft? Like, was all that necessary? Like, oh, the outpour. Thank you for the outpouring of support. Like, I would have told, if it bothered me, I would have told Rosenberg, go fuck yourself. You know what you're trying to do, Rosenberg. You know why you asking me those questions. That's how I would have answered it. And I would have went on about my business. I don't get the Wounded Animal Act. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's like, you can, from what you're telling me, it sounds like she was a little sensitive to the or very aware of the because she isn't. I mean, just as I know Beyonce more than I know her, right? So she isn't as big of a star,
right?
But I mean, that's kind of life. I mean, and also, why do you have to pit people against each other? It's kind of life too. It's like comparing. You see this in sports all the time. Okay, you'll see like let's say it's let's go with the black quarterback. It's a black quarterback, and or a white receiver, right? Mm-hmm. And they'll get compared to the other white receiver. It's never just a receiver, or it's a black quarterback. They'll compare him to another black quarterback. Like, he's like Randall Cunningham.
well, yeah, they do it more to black people though. So maybe Kelly Rowland was alluding to that because they're still comparing Michael Jordan and LeBron James. But you don't see so much them do that like Tom Brady to Joe Montana.
Really?
Like still
no,
like,
but
yeah, no, they don't.
But you do see it with the white receivers. You do see it with the white receivers.
Well, that's because there's not very many white receivers.
Right. Or you'll see it with a corner. If there's a white cornerback,
he's right about that.
He's like Jason Sehorn.
Yep.
So do you think black people get compared more often, or is there going to be a comparison period?
No, there's going to always be a comparison. We do this all the time. We do it in the barbershop. We do it on the corner. We do it on the block. We do it we do it at Thanksgiving. We get enough drinks in us. Sooner or later, we're going to start comparing. We're going to start talking about Jordan and LeBron. We're going to start talking about Beyonce. We're going to start talking about rappers who you think got the best bars, Jay-Z or Nas. We do that. We're going to do that. That's a natural thing. I'm just saying, like, there is a such thing as pitting black artists or black sports figures against each other. But that's the name of the game. And Kelly Rowland is used to this. Remember, she's used to this. They're all used to this. They're used to this because they've grown with this. Now, Kelly Rowland, like you said, is a day one. So Kelly Rowland came out the sandbox with this. So this ain't nothing that's new to her. Right. So it's probably just like at this point in her career, I may be at this point in the career, but it comes with the territory. Until she dies, it's gonna be people talking about, girl, you ain't better than Beyonce. You ain't no Beyonce. Ain't like nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Right. She'll always be in her shadow, which is
exactly, yeah. It's always gonna be like that. She's had to deal with that from the beginning, and it's gonna be like that to the end. So for her to have some feelings about it, I know, we do get a little sensitive about it, but and then at the same time, like I said, I believe their ratings are slipping. They're looking for something. They need some moments. They need some moments. You know what I'm saying? So he did his job. So to me,
and they
to me, it was in bad taste. But at the end of the day, I can't say he did anything wrong because that's his job.
Right. So, they even do that with new artists. Like, oh, this is the new such and such. Like constantly.
Yep.
New such and such. Even when you're pitching a project, let's say you write a series, you're pitching a project, it is imperative that in your pitch deck, you have to put, this show is like that.
Yep.
If you don't do that, they can't even fathom what the fuck you're bringing to them. It's like, what is this show like? So you have to say it's a mixture of good times with, Al Bundy. You have to do that. Like that is how people compute things, which is crazy to me, because you would think that people want fresh ideas and new things, but no, they want it to look and sound like something else, which fucking perturbs my soul. But that's how it is, because I'm pitching projects, and the question of what is this like? Okay, your story sounds great, but what is this like? What show?
Like what would you compare it to?
Right. What would you compare it to? So I think that's going to be the natural order of things. And I think with Kelly, she's an easy target because you work with Beyonce. She's
not really rah-rah either. So that's another thing that makes her, although whether you're rah-rah or not, they're still going to fuck with you. So, but I mean, it makes it even easier because she's not going to check him right then and there on the spot. You know what I'm saying? Whether somebody else maybe would have checked him right then and there. You know what I'm saying? And basically voiced their distaste or whatever for what he was doing.
Right.
What's he frying bacon? No, he's not frying bacon. What's he frying?
He's frying chicken.
He could be frying some turkey bacon.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so she'll be all right. I think it's there's no such thing as bad press. It's good press for her because everybody came rushing in to save her, right? And she was like, hey, I want to thank everyone for your support. And I was like, were you in a car accident? Whatever, girl. But shout out to Matthew Knowles. He knew what he was doing, you know what I mean, by flanking Beyonce with the other two. Michelle never made sense to me. Never will. Because I remember when Destiny Shaw was doing the auditions to replace the other two that left, the other three actually, because there was three members that didn't make it. And
they had a couple girls in there, and then
and I just can't believe that. I've been to auditions. The line is usually wrapped around the block. I just cannot believe that Michelle was the best thing that walked in that room. I just think Michelle was good enough. I was like, we need someone who's skinny and dark or darker than Beyonce and can barely sing just enough, just good enough, so she can be the other side of the frame. So we have Kelly and Michelle.
Well, just because remember they had and remember she had a hit, LaToya Luckett. Remember she had a hit.
Mm-hmm.
Remember they kicked her out early or whatever the case.
Yeah.
But she still ended up being able to get a hit.
Yeah, and Farrah Franklin, I don't even think she made it a couple months.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I don't think she made it. Yeah, she was fine too. She was fine as wine.
Beautiful girl.
I don't remember her. I don't remember seeing her after that. I remember maybe she had a couple little tell-all interviews, and then I think that was it.
Yeah, and I follow her on Instagram. She did drop another song, but Brother Ish, welcome. Brother Ish is busy with the baby. Okay, so let me jump into this.
I'm here. I'm sorry. I with the AirPods, I'm walking away from the phone, and you're like, "Brother, it's
Okay.
welcome." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm running back to the other room."
It's okay. It's okay. How are you this evening?
Everything is grand and beautiful.
Yay! Okay, so the main topic: should entertainers have a freedom of speech clause in their contracts? I think this is something to look into the future. Like I'm like, yo, next time I get a contract, I want to sit down with my attorney and their attorney and be like, look, don't be pulling no shit from 25 years ago that I said on Facebook about such and such. Like, how do entertainers protect themselves? The reason why I wanted to bring it up is because Fat Joe recently said that he lost a $20 million Jordan deal. It's a lot of money. And he said the reason why he lost that contract was because his little beef, and it wasn't even a big beef, his beef with 50 Cent. It was the night that he was at the award show and he went on stage. Some of you guys may remember, some of you may not. I remember when he went on stage and he said, "Oh, I feel safe in here tonight because G Unit got police up in here." Trying to insinuate that G Unit was scared, but they had a lot of security and the cops were there. So they were safe from whatever would happen. And he said the tensions were building like with G Unit and Terror Squad, right? But then, someone intervened and then everybody went their own way. But the beef was brewing. Anyway, he said Michael Jordan called him and was like, hey, that deal, I don't do the rap beefs. I don't do beefs at all. This sneaker deal is not going to work. We're going to have to take it off the table. And that deal was worth $20 million fucking dollars. And Fat Joe didn't even say anything other than, hey, I feel safe in here tonight. G Unit got police everywhere, right? So do you think that was justified, right? And then he said prior to that phone call, him and Michael Jordan were like kicking it face to face, talking about sneaker ideas and designs and things like that, right? Everybody knows Fat Joe's a sneakerhead. So they were really like right there on the verge of, distributing, right? Getting the sneaker to the shops. And then in one phone call, because of what happened at that award show, Michael Jordan was like, I'm out. $20 million down the drain. So should entertainers have a freedom of speech clause in their contracts?
Yes, but there are a lot of clauses that have been added to contracts based upon different circumstances in the past. So you have.
Can you give me an example?
The Tina Marie clause. And I'm trying to remember the terms on the Tina Marie clause, but there is a Tina Marie clause in everyone's contract, and there was some sort of deal. The Tina Marie clause is that if you're under contract, you have to make a certain amount of money per year, or you can be released from that contract. So they can't hold you to the contract. I don't remember all the dynamics of it, but that was pretty much it. That, like you couldn't be broke and be under contract. That if they were holding you, that you had to be able to receive some sort of revenue in relationship to that when it comes to record deals. So that's why a lot of times they give those large advances, because then they spread those advances out in over a number of years, or until they have some sort of delivery points. But that the Tina Marie clause is one of them. There's also a thing called the sunset clause, which was a part of a management company where the manager discovered the artist, and then the artist moved on, but he still wanted to receive some revenue based upon the fact that he helped cultivate the artist. And so the sunset clause allows, over time, his percentage and his stake in the contract diminishes. So maybe it's for the first 5 years it's 20%, the next 5 years it's 15%, and it diminishes like a sunset.
So what do you think about like how all these celebrities and entertainers, from actors to singers to rappers, how now they're kind of being called to task about their past Twitter posts and Facebook and things like that and what have you? I just think that it's a little crazy not to have a clause in your contract now that states whatever I said 15, 20 years ago, or at least pay me this shit up front in case you find something, right? And you have to cut me off. Like, I want an advance no matter what, because people get froggy, right, about things that these celebrities have said way back. They did it to Kevin Hart, you know, they did it to Chappelle. They're still trying to do it to Chappelle. Like, people are mad that Lorne Michaels let Dave Chappelle host SNL. Like, they're pissed that they let him do that. So they're still on Dave Chappelle's heels. But do you think it's getting to the point now where it's fucking silly? Because nobody really cares. I'll give you a quick example. Chris Brown a while back said something about, you know, it was a colorism type of comment where he was talking about light-skinned women and he likes light-skinned women. And then a bunch of dark-skinned women were pissed off and they started canceling Chris Brown, and they're in his comments. And Chris Brown pushed back and said, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to say whatever I want to say, and then y'all can deal with it how you see fit. Now, of course, people are talking about, oh, cancel him, cancel him. But are we going to see more celebrities or entertainers pushing back? Do you think that's the answer? Kind of like Chappelle is like, look, I said this. This is what I meant. Y'all could take it that way, but this is what I meant. So are we going to see, you think we're going to see more and more entertainers like, this is what the fuck I said? Like, you can't cancel every entertainer. We won't have any entertainment.
I think that this goes back to what we've been talking about these last couple of weeks. It's like these companies that have the power, just like Jordan. Unfortunately, he had the power to tell Fat Joe, okay, well, I don't fuck with that beef shit. Mm-hmm. So I don't want that being represented within my brand. So let me get that deal back. I can't fuck with you. Mm-hmm. Just like with Kanye West at Adidas. Mm-hmm. I believe that you're gonna get pushed back, and you're getting pushed back now. But at the end of the day, I think that the person that is giving you the contract is gonna have the ultimate power. Now, mm-hmm. do we have the I think the question you're asking is, do we have the power to change it? I hope it changes. I hope it does change.
Why do you hope it changes?
Huh?
Why do you hope it changes?
I hope it changes because I don't believe that people should just be canceled for any old thing. I don't believe that you should be able to go back into some old tweets and that this person said this. They could have been 16 or something, and they said some shit. Now, we've all done shit that we were 16 that we wouldn't do now.
Ooh, yes.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like you got to give people now there's ignorant people everywhere. Now you got to give people the chance to grow. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that people should just be canceled. In the same token, we always speak about this. You can't tell people when you're not in that position of power what they gonna do with they shit. So, but I do want to know what's the I would want to get y'all's take on what could we do? What could be done? Is it gonna have to be a thing where all the entertainers are gonna have to come together, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, all the entertainers are gonna have to come together and say, we're not standing for this? Or, you know what I mean? Or like what can happen? Like what's gonna make it stop?
Well, let me say this. You have morality clauses that are put in different contracts now based upon the factor that of, you know, incidents that people have had, you know, with the Me Too movement and different situations that you can terminate an agreement based upon them violating the morality clause. Now, all these documents and all these clauses and all these litigious options, we can always put something. You can always negotiate something into an agreement. That's just that is the one aspect of this country. And if you're in a position of power in the negotiation, if you have the leverageable position, then you can put in any term that you want. Now, all that has to be done from that point on is everybody that kind of couples under that leverageable position should know, hey, this is what you should put in your agreement. So there should be some sort of collective information for artists and some sort of support scenario. And you had historical attempts at that with like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Jim Brown and Muhammad Ali, and all of them came together collectively as black entertainers, and we're pushing for different rights and issues. And you know, a lot of a lot of things that were moved forward and advanced from those group of men, even from the basketball player that was always known for sleeping with a bunch of women. I can't pull his
Will
name
Chamberlain.
right now. Will Chamberlain did a tremendous amount of things in pushing the ball forward for athletes and their rights. So, you know, there's a lot that we're not aware of, but if we even had some sort of knowledge on those histories, it would inspire those that are in position now to take stronger stances. So,
And do y'all
in answer
also
to your
think
question, it is possible, and it doesn't require 50 artists to do it. You really just need 4 to 5 of the most influential artists to just come together and make a determined position, and take a determined position.
But how could you fight, right? How could you fight? Like, let's say you put that in a contract. These big brands, right? What they want is people to buy their shit. How could you go against that when it's like, well, the brand is like, we can't sell our shit now because everybody hates you?
Well, let me add something to what we're talking about here. Comedians, to me, should you're going to kill comedy, like say Dave Chappelle, and if you stop letting them talk about social what's going on in society. I mean, I think they're on a little bit different. You know, the problem is we have a couple of generations here that are a little bit over righteous and don't understand context, things that are set in context, especially when you're talking about 20, 25 years ago. It's not the same then. It wasn't taken the way that they're looking at it today. I'll give you, there's a couple of examples like, well, some people are bulletproof too. You got to, you know, and that's, I think Ish is kind of alluding to that. Like you got Robin and Howard Stern in New York making millions of dollars on satellite radio. And 1994, somebody tried to cancel, you know, somebody was thinking they were going to cancel him. They put up a picture of Robin and Howard was in blackface and Robin was next to him. Well, that was making fun of Ted Danson in blackface with Whoopi Goldberg, but somebody just put, look at this, Howard Stern in blackface 25 years ago with no context, right? So I agree with what's I'm sorry, I can't see the name, the guy I'm not investigating up top. Just playing ish. I agree with him totally. Like going back in people's, you know, pictures from college is really ridiculous. Now, what's going to stop it? But I really think it's fringe. I don't think the majority of us really want to cancel a lot. Now, there's a difference between comedy, like Dave Chappelle, and then someone, like I don't know, pick somebody in the news. I don't want to say Kyrie, he just posted a link, but maybe Kanye or something that he says. He's not a comedian, so some things he says, it's a little bit different. So you got to kind of know where you stand and, you know, what you have to lose. And as far as freedom of speech goes, people need to, and I think people are losing what freedom of speech is. Nobody is going to jail for what they're saying. I think as Americans, we've never lived in a country that doesn't have freedom of speech. Now, doesn't mean you're free from consequences. And that's the difference. You say something, you can say it all you want. Doesn't mean you won't get some some pushback, especially when you're working for corporations. The more you have, the more you need to realize that it could be taken away, you know, unless you run the business. And most of us in America don't own the business and aren't the bosses. We're all working for somebody for the most part.
Right. So this comment right here, I wanted to highlight. Jupiter Gone Wild says, the only thing I like about cancel culture is it gives you an opportunity to think about how your words and actions are going to affect someone. Now, here's the thing. If we're talking about Donald Trump, right, riling up his people to run into the Capitol and people die, I think that's one thing. But, you know, someone acting like, oh God, you call me fat, I'm suicidal. Like, it's a thin line, right? Because now we're living in a time where everything affects everyone now. The jokes affect people. The opinions affect people. Everything is taken out of context. Like the train is off the fucking rails. So how do we fucking differentiate? How do we compartmentalize? How do we compartmentalize the difference between yelling fire in a theater and just saying, I don't like that wig on you. I think wigs are kind of corny. And now it's like, everybody cancel her because you're wig shaming.
No, say you could call me World, by the way.
World, I got you.
Yeah, but I think the internet is what really put it over the edge. Because, like he said, we've had these instances where there were actual, because the situation that happened with Imus, that was before the internet was out, but it wasn't like it is now.
No.
So you know what I mean? And he's quote unquote got canceled, but he still was able to go and do his own thing.
Right.
So I mean, he lost that job because that job said they're not messing with that type of talking. But he was still able to go do his own thing.
Of course.
I think there should be a way where I think that people should have, if somebody says something, then you should have the right to not fuck with them. But I don't think that they should be overall canceled unless it was something like you rate you I don't know, you R-worded 35 people. You know what I'm saying? Then you should be canceled. There are certain things that you need to be canceled for. You need to be canceled across the board. But then there's other things that it's like, okay, if you say something against the black community that's detrimental, we can cancel you. But that doesn't mean that the white community can't still mess with you, or black people or whoever else can't still mess with you. And Saint, you said something about comedians, and it is getting bad for them. They can't talk like they can't talk like they used to be able to, like Paul Mooney and cats from back in the day, and George Carlin and these cats that used to, and Richard Pryor, like how they used to talk back in the day. They can't really talk like that because they got Kevin Hart. Remember, they went back into his tweets when he said some homophobic type of stuff, and he lost some. He was supposed to host the Oscars that year, or one of those award shows. They snatched it from him and snatched deals from him and all type of stuff. He had to go on an apology tour. He had to revamp himself. He had to rebrand basically based off of some old tweets. And I'm wondering who are the people that are digging that? This is the bigger question. Who are the people that are going 4 and 5 and 10 and 15 years back into these tweets? And some of these people tweet every 3 minutes. Do you know how many tweets you got to go back to get this information? This is some shit that's going to take you hours to get.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm wondering where that energy is coming from too. Like,
that's a great point. And sometimes I think, let's go into cue the Twilight Zone music for me, if you can. But I feel like it's almost like, right, America, land of the free, right, home of the brave, bars and stars, eagles, freedom of speech. But it almost seems like the powers that be, if there's such a thing, is trying to make it a dictatorship while not make it look like they're in charge of that dictatorship. They're making the people be the dictators. That's how I see it, right? Because let's say the powers that be, they go back, they don't have to go back 100 years for Kevin Hart. They got the computers that they could just pull up 1989. Let's go straight back to 1989, right? Oh, he said something homophobic. Let's throw that out on the algorithm. We're going to have thousands of people trying to cancel him, right? That's a dictatorship. It's just a mob of people trying to do it. And then the powers that be is like, we're not canceling him. We're following what you guys are mad at him. So we'll follow suit with you guys. When it's really them that's putting the stories out there, because who is putting these stories out there from 20, 20, 30, 40? Who's on Twitter? I'm going to go back 15 years. Who is that? Who's doing?
Well, that's an interesting concept. I think there's programs you could probably Google search Kevin Hart and put certain words in there, and I don't think it's as hard as.
But
I don't think
who's doing who?
Right? No,
I
agree with
that
you.
Though. That's the
I
thing.
agree with that. But that's why I say it's an interesting concept. What she's saying. I would only think that if the company is making a ton of money off of Kevin Hart, what would be there unless he pissed somebody off? I mean, I guess any of these things are possible, but it really gives the power to the few. Like I said, I really think most people are sensible, but when you get to the fringes, if it left or right, there's a lot of crazy people out there, and it's enough to make people's lives miserable. Because I really don't think, I think we can live with what Kanye said. I mean, unless you're Jewish, obviously it offended you, but I think as a whole, we could probably live with it, say, yeah, that's effed up, but and still listen to the music. You know what I mean?
But what about Kyrie though? Because he just posted a link.
Yeah, I got you. No, I know. But you know what? I think
apologized.
He's got stuff following him around too, though. He's the whole vaccine thing. He's a strange kind of. He's the flat Earth guy. I don't want to offend anybody if somebody in here's a flat earther.
Yeah, but he did all that, and even the owners got with him. The commissioner of the NBA sat down with him, and they said, "Well, I don't believe he's anti-Semitic or whatever." But
I get that. But you know, he's also a problem. He got
shut down by the AD. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. Also, there's whatever, I don't know the truth, but the rumors of him kind of being a problem in the locker room. Durant not liking him. I mean, I'm not sure how much of that is fact or just rumor, but there's some weird stuff going on with him.
But so, I mean, going back to Kyrie, he also got the ADL shakedown. So, I mean, they normally, what they do, and many different social activists, but, the ADL is not that, but, say, okay, well, you made some racist statements, or you made some statements that offend us. So give us, $500,000 donated to our cause, and we'll forget about it. That doesn't change, how a person thinks. That doesn't change the influence. That doesn't change that. Like, there was nothing. That's not some sort of atonement or repentance for an action that's offensive. Like that, like there's no, if somebody is racist, let's just say somebody's very bigoted. Because I hate to always use the term racist. If somebody's bigoted, then where's the transitional moment where they get re-educated, re-informed, other than they just could, oh, well, here, we'll just take some of your money and then you'll be okay. And everything's all right and it's all forgiven.
But Kyrie had a list, though. It wasn't just pay us. It was go to this museum, read that book.
Yeah. They gave him a list. And
didn't they reject his money? They didn't take his money.
No, they still got that back on the table that he had to donate. But he had to donate to some type of cause. So he had to
donate $500,000 to the ADL.
Yeah, he had to do other stuff though. He had to be reformed. He had to go to the Holocaust Museum. He had to read this book, and he had to put in 3 hours of community service.
It's the same thing they made Nick Cannon do. Right. They made Nick Cannon go to the Holocaust Museum. He had to sit down with that Jewish rabbi that he had on his show or whatever. Then he had to go do this. Then he had to go do that. And they were talking about giving the show to DC Young Fly. Now, the thing I like about DC is DC was like, nah, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Now, everybody's not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Right. You got some of your partners that's going, if they be like, man, I'm going to give you the show. They're going to be like, well, man, fuck it. Give me the show. Mm-hmm. He was like, nah, I'm not finna do it. If he ain't going to run it, then I'm out. I'm good. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But it's just like, when is it going to be enough? You know what I mean? But I think Brother Ish had hit something. I believe it's above the NBA's power, because once that ADL gets involved, I believe that they trump the NBA as far as that's concerned.
I would say,
if we're gonna be fair, like the ADL gets a lot of attention. It's like a pyramid, like the ADLs on the Jewish people. But if we're gonna be fair, if someone uses the word nigger incorrectly, right? The NAACP, Al Sharpton, Tamika Mallory, they get people fired too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh no, I agree. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Sure. Everybody does
for sure. Just like the Me Too, now, Gloria Allred comes out.
You got Me Too. You got the LGBTQIA. So it's not just this bit. Again, it's not just the Jewish people. It's everybody who's getting.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that just because we were talking about Kyrie.
Right. But if Black people aren't organized to tax somebody $500,000, then that's on the organizations. Let the NAACP or Black Lives Matter, chuckle, joke, joke. Let them start taxing people who use the word nigga, whatever. It's up to them. Just like the ADL, it's up to them. They decided, absolutely, I want your 500K. Same thing with the LGBTQ. They they can start taxing people.
That's like Gloria Allred. She's taxing folks. She's going out for money. Mm-hmm. When the Me Too people, they're usually, most of the time, they're not going for criminal charges. She's going to get her money. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, she's making them pay.
Yeah. Exactly how I did it. Exactly how I did it, and I would do it again. Exactly.
Yeah. And I just want to add to what you were saying, World. I don't think the ADL is above the NBA. I think the NBA, it's all, we all know this. It's business, and the NBA is going to flow whichever way they can avoid businesses pulling out of their sponsorship, because the fans, as much money as we put into it, it's not even a drop in the bucket to what corporations give to the NBA. So when people say, I pay my ticket, I'm supporting this player. No, you're not. You're buying a few hot dogs at the stadium. You're not paying them dudes salaries. That's all network, corporations.
To the network deals and all that. That's what really pushed these guys' contracts to where they are now. Yeah. Basketball players wasn't getting paid this much. It was baseball players that was getting paid the most. Now basketball players is up there with the MLB. You know what I'm saying?
So do you think there should be, I would like to see like fines be paid, since it's all about money, like all that. I would say that. But as far as canceling, I think canceling is a waste of time. I think it's a waste of time. And here's why: because it's just a conveyor belt of like people getting pissed off, and it's not real. It's imaginary. Like no one is going to stop watching basketball games because of Kyrie. No one, not Jewish people, not white people. Basketball fans are going to watch basketball. Same thing with football. Yeah. No one is going to stop watching football.
People did though, because of Kaepernick. Some people stopped watching it, but I don't think they should have.
But I'm sure they didn't even put a dent, because even all those people.
Oh no, hell no.
People I know personally who are raising their Black Power fist are literally watching football right now.
Of course.
I'm like, so y'all ain't mad no more.
And don't forget all the
NFL is number one out of all the sports. NFL is still number one.
Even Kaepernick was trying to get back on that field. Even Kaepernick. That's how serious it was. Even Kaepernick was like, "Can I play now?"
Yep. Just nobody wouldn't mess with him. He was doing workouts and everything. He was having personal workouts. He was trying to get back in. There was a couple teams that actually was trying to holler at him, but nothing ever came about of it.
Yeah. And it was a temporary bump, because the NFL was caught in between, right? You had people that were saying Kaepernick should be able to kneel, and then you had the right wingers that were mad because he was kneeling, and then Trump stirring it up, saying he was, it's against the flag. So you had the NFL getting some people boycotting on both sides. But yeah, it took a small hit in ratings for about a little over a year, but it's back.
And then it's like a lot of people who are, in my opinion, were like, yeah, boycott foot. When that shit came on, you heard that intro music?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, was on the couch.
I'm like, good. Maybe I can get cheaper tickets if you guys boycott.
Your ass was on the couch watching, okay? So all the people are like, no, we're mad. We're going to boycott. It lasts for a little while. That's why it doesn't make sense, that this whole cancel culture thing, it doesn't make sense to me, right? Because everything injured, like, now you're fat shaming, and everything you attach the word shaming to, people must pay for. My nails are short. You're nail shaming. It's getting ridiculous.
And like brother Ish said too, though. I'm gonna pass it right after this. Like brother Ish said too, he made a valid point. What you're canceling people for, who's to say that they don't really still feel that way even after you cancel them? They may just kumbaya with you and do everything you say, but I still feel like that. You know what I'm saying? I still feel like that. You know what I mean? So what is the cancel for?
What was the cat that was the owner of the Clippers?
Oh yeah,
Donald Sterling clearly had issues with Black people,
And he's an old
clearly,
man. You're not gonna change his mind
not
at
at
that
all.
age.
And mindful, he did everything. I mean, he honestly even tried to hang out with some brother from the nation to say to work his situation out. But it's like, nah, you cool.
But he
It's
but
all
he
right
didn't
down
need
there.
to work it out. That man is worth how much? They let him
Right, right.
in his
Yeah, exactly.
how much
Yeah,
he
so
worth
he could
out?
take his thoughts to the next thing and be able to just do whatever the fuck he want.
Yeah,
Right.
but he really was. He was really in just knowing a little inside story on his situation. He was really trying to revamp his image because he didn't for some aspect of it. He wanted to not be walk away being perceived as a racist, being part of his legacy.
He's
And
rich. Who gives a damn? That man's
I
so
mean, I'm just telling you that was his perspective, and he was throwing a lot of money to a lot of different individuals, trying to say, "Hey, see, I'm not a racist because I'm helping this little black family over here, and I'm doing
okay.
this over
And they was
here."
like, "Oh, get your ass up out of here. Take your money somewhere else."
He
And
didn't want to. He didn't want
probably
to.
when he went somewhere else, he was like, "Man, fuck the nation.
Yeah,
Fuck
he didn't
y'all.
want
I
to.
didn't want to fuck
Well,
with
of
y'all
course.
anyway."
I mean, of course. So, you can see a dog a mile away. You know what I mean? So
Uh-huh.
He didn't want. Hey, he didn't want to cut off his dating preference either. He wanted
Yeah,
to
because
make
that, and
sure.
remember, and look, this
that
goes back
too.
to how he was caught. Like, who has the
Yeah, but
presence of mind?
but that's another thing. That man is worth so much money.
Yeah, he
He,
can get
he
anybody.
can have a black woman in there and call her nigga all up and down.
Oh
And
yeah,
she
yeah, they gonna take it. Yeah, he
she
could have,
still
like I said, he could get him a mansion and have a black woman in every room, and
Oh,
have a doorbell.
he's so
Doom doom,
cute. He calls me that all the time.
nigger, bring your
hey,
ass up here.
that's
Doo doo.
that's how he is, guys. That's how he is. That's what would happen.
What's up, y'all? You know what time it is. It's about to be that time.
Oh yeah, I'm here to say everybody this. There ain't no such thing as freedom of speech if you cost me money. I don't care. That's it.
Ah,
If you cost me money, I don't care what you say. Don't cost me my money.
okay.
That's how they looking at it.
Okay. Right. See, but I think that that's fair. But I think that let the people decide, right? If people are
Nope.
still cheering for Kyrie, who cares? If people are still cheering for Chappelle, who cares? I would watch the numbers. I would be like, okay, let me see how many people tuned in to Saturday Night Live. If Dave is still making me money and he's still drawing people, and let me tell you, I don't watch Saturday Night Live. When Chappelle is on, I'm watching Saturday Night Live, and I know a lot of people feel the way I do, right? So he's bringing the money because who the hell still watches Saturday Night Live?
Well, I still don't understand the Dave Chappelle. I think that's who was it? The Anti-Defamation League. I think that they try to pull a Monique, where you overstepped your bounds. I said, I believe a Jewish man runs SNL and NBC,
Yeah.
and they read that monologue through a fine tip comb before they allowed him to go on there, and said, "Okay, this works."
Mhm.
So I think they
Yeah.
overreached, and everybody's like this. Like I said, Diddy, your services are no longer needed. I said Dave Chappelle speaks for the black community. I say that right now, and that's how it is. And like they overreached and they overplayed their hand, and now they're like, oh shit, we went for the wrong Negro. This is the one Negro that everybody agrees with, no matter what side of the fence you're on.
Except for the
Cause
LGBT.
no, they love him too. I
Some
said no, it's the over dramatic ones that don't like him. It's the ones that sit there and say I am gender alpha XY. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, you're a man or a woman. Pick one. I'm not go after you go over two. We have a problem. I'm not having this conversation. I said,
so
you know,
do you think well he did cost people some money. Do you think he should have been canceled or put on ice for a little bit?
who costs who money? Dave Chappelle costs people money.
Yes.
Netflix gets an uptick in subscriptions every Dave Chappelle comedy special that drops. they're not losing any money. They're losing money when he goes on a year hiatus. That's well,
Okay.
you see what happened when it was
Oh
when
wait, Tap Records says. See, I didn't have this information. Thank you for this information. Tap Records says they said Chappelle did a different monologue in rehearsal and changed it when they went live. Is that true?
I highly doubt. Dave Chappelle will never cost himself that. That's it.
I don't know.
don't know.
I think
Nah, nah,
comedians will take risks like that. I think he could do it.
nah.
They,
I need. Nah, he got
like
to drop a link on that one. I need a link on that one.
What you mean Dave Chappelle would never take a risk like that? He gave away $50 million. He walked away from a $50 million deal.
And he's proven he's got the cojones.
It doesn't matter that he tripled it. I'm saying you saying that he would never take a risk like that. I'm saying he has already done that before.
Walking away and walking away is completely different than changing a whole monologue that can actually risk your career. Like that didn't risk his career.
What you mean is different? He gave his career up. He gave the whole thing up. He threw the whole thing away.
Did he? Or did he take a break?
I honestly think he's one of the
away from it. He gave it away, and honestly, I think he's as how they said the car companies were too big to fail. Dave Chappelle is too big to fail at this point.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He's bigger. He's big enough to be bulletproof on that kind of stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Like when you know your worth. Like, did he really risk it, or did he just say, you know what, I know my worth, I'm not rolling with it? Like, he didn't risk his career at all. That's what I'm saying. He just bounced. I said, only person that can do that is Dave Chappelle, Jay-Z, and Eminem at this point in entertainment. That can just bounce.
No, let's Tap Records. We have to give him his props. Give him a little flower because he was right. I just pulled it up. It says Dave Chappelle performed fake Saturday Night Live monologue in rehearsal before unveiling new version on air live as he's blasted for anti-Semitic jokes. It says Dave Chappelle kept NBC and the producers of Saturday Night Live guessing up until the last moment when he reportedly performed a new version of his monologue for the live broadcast. The 49-year-old comedian performed a fake version of his monologue for the dress rehearsal early on Saturday evening before doing a different monologue that didn't get anyone's approval for the show that appeared on television.
I love Dave Chappelle. I'm officially in love.
Yeah,
with Dave
so
Chappelle.
that's what I was saying. He don't give no damn about he threw $50 million away. He left it on the table.
Dave Chappelle is safe. The ultimate Jewish man just saved Dave Chappelle, Jon Stewart. It's okay. He's safe. It doesn't matter.
Well, because comedians, and I'm sure Bill Maher's going to come out for him too. Comedians, and Bill Maher's got a Jewish mother. He's always talking about comedians having that space because that's what comedians do. I think if Saturday Night Live doesn't want to take that kind of risk, then they probably shouldn't be live. They should probably be taped because that kind of stuff can happen.
Man, go ahead, Chappelle. So I guess they're calling him uncancelable. So there it is.
You can't cancel somebody who don't care. And like that's the one thing. Like I have to care that you cancel me.
Seinfeld said that it calls for a conversation. He was like,
let's talk about Seinfeld. That I was going to bring that up earlier. There's a difference between, and people need to know context. What Keith Richards did was unacceptable, right?
Oh yeah.
Who? Yeah,
Kramer.
So he
remember
could
when
get
he was
canceled,
yelling
right?
out?
Oh, that was
yelling out the N-word. Yeah, that was crazy.
That was a meltdown. I was like,
not Keith Richards, whatever his name is. Keith Richards, I think, is the bass player for the Rolling Stones. Richards, whatever.
Right, Keith Richards.
Yeah, I was about to say, hey, what happened? What the Stones do?
Yeah, no.
I just call him Kramer. I know him as Kramer.
Yeah, Kramer Richards. But it has. But what he did was racist, and you should get canceled if you're doing that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't think anybody should accept that kind of thing, whether it's a black person, white person, whatever. I don't think if you say something like that, and that's not a joke, right? But That's what I'm saying. You got to kind of know where you sit, but with comedians and Bill Maher was canceled. You remember with Bill Maher when he said that the cowards were the people launching the bombs from jet airplanes, that the terrorists weren't cowards when they got on the jets and ran into the World Trade Center, and he got canceled for that.
Okay.
So when you are a victim of that, you tend to come out and try and defend, especially comedians. Comedians have each other's back.
I mean, Bill Maher wasn't gonna get canceled. Wasn't he the same one that says I'm a house nigga?
Yeah, he did say that.
When he said that joke, even though it was random, it was hilarious. But I'm like, yo, your white ass really said that. I'm like, and what he do next week? Ice Cube come buckling, chuckling like this.
Yeah. Yeah. You do have to know where you stand in society sometimes.
Exactly. If you know where you stand, can you cancel me? It's just like talking about the banks, like this. Oh, let's regulate the banks. Okay. What about the economy? Oh, we'll figure that part out. How about the banks that help push the economy? How about we leave them the fuck alone? How about that one? So it's if you know where you stand, can anybody? It's hard to really tell anybody what to do when they swing the biggest dick in the room. Pretty much what it is.
I mean, and I want to say something. There is, I remember when Bill Maher did that, and I kind of was like, ooh, that's probably not because when you're white, there are certain parameters that, whether you're a comedian or not, you got to kind of know. Like, I think he maybe felt comfortable, he said, well, I know I'm not a racist, so I think my audience knows I'm not a racist. I think black people know I'm not a racist, so I can get away with this joke, and maybe not.
Yeah.
If you
his misnomer, Bill Maher's misnomer was that he dated black women, and he thought that gave him a pass. And that's really was his misnomer.
I agree.
Yeah.
Shouldn't that give him a pass?
No,
not at all.
No,
I've never.
That's the some of my best. That's the some of my best friends are black. Little thing that they always say. I can't be racist. Some of my best friends are black.
Right.
But think about it.
Why do they say that?
Here's how I'm gonna call cap. I'm gonna call cap on y'all.
Okay.
I'm gonna call cap. Here's why. Right. I think a full-blown racist, I mean a racist, I mean true blue to the bone, is not fucking with that other race or that thing they hate at all ever. So
yes, they are.
Not in my opinion. Not in my opinion.
Well, then how you explain on the plantation?
Okay,
when they would go out there dipping up in them.
Then you're racist light, like light beer.
No, hell.
You see how I'm gonna explain. Let me qualify that, right? Someone would call me racist because I've never dated a white man. I don't want to date a white man. I can't even fathom having sex with a white man. I can never see. So I can say that I won't and I wouldn't and I don't like, right? But if you're a black man or a white man, so you can't. He's fucking black women. A racist would be like, I don't want anything to do with those people. I don't want their skin on me. I don't want to be in bed with them. You're racist.
You can
racist.
You can be racist, but you can get money. You can get money off of. I can say, hey, I hate Puerto Ricans, but I can have them. I can have them work for me.
That sounds like.
But I still hate them motherfuckers. I can still be.
Sex, and of course, everybody. Of course, you don't have to like somebody to use them to get. Absolutely, I agree with you.
So then, what is sex? That's just a.
Sex is different. You are touching, you are penetrating, you are licking, you are sucking, you are sharing sweat and saliva. If you really don't like a thing, you're not going to want it anywhere near you. So I'm just saying that it's conditional racism.
I'm calling Cap right back to you on that
one.
I'm calling Cap right back to you on that.
I know where you're Jen, I know where you're coming from, but this is what I think. This is what I think. You're right. I don't think the full-blown white supremacist that wants to kill anybody that's a mixed race person, like, oh, he's a traitor if he's dating out, or she's a traitor if she's dating a black guy or whatever, I don't think they would. But I do think that there are people that don't think they don't know they're racist. And I'm not saying they're vengefully racist, but they support a lot of things that you're like, you might want to look into those issues, that don't think they're racist, that would date outside of their race. You know, I'll give you an example. I've lived here. I grew up here in New Orleans, and if you don't leave this place, it's almost like you're the crabs that are getting in the boiling pot and everything. You don't know the water's getting hot. You know, I mean, and maybe it was because I was young too, but when I was growing up, I was thinking, man, you know, the South has a lot of racists, but not New Orleans. New Orleans, we're really not all that racist here. And then I left and moved to California and came back, and I was like, God dang, there's a lot of racist people here. You know, you don't necessarily know.
Address this guy, Javier Colon. I don't need a pass from a motherfucker walking this planet, okay? Unless their name is Fernando Garcia, my father, okay? I don't need a motherfucking pass from one race, one woman, or one man, okay? Who's gonna turn to dust when they die like I do. I don't need a motherfucking pass from a motherfucker on this planet. I say what the fuck I want to say, and I do what the fuck I want to do, because I am a free woman. Okay, I am in nobody's shackles, be they black, white, Latin, orange, or yellow. I don't need a motherfucking pass to say what I want to say. I hope you understand that. No, that shit kills me when people like, oh, you get a pass. Nobody gives me a motherfucking pass. I pay my fucking bills. I say what the fuck I want to say, but you have the freedom not to like it. You have the freedom to say, I ain't fucking with her because she said something I didn't like. You have the freedom to not be around me. That's your freedom. My freedom is I say what the fuck I want to say and deal with the consequences. And your freedom is that you don't have to fuck with me. But no one gives me a pass unless you my daddy.
Yeah, and I want to address, this is a comment that was going around last night too. He's saying women attach emotions to sex and men don't. And I think that's cap, because if that's true, then when you are with a woman, you wouldn't care if she goes out with another guy after you have sex with them. And most men do. Most men stalk women when they do that to them. So.
Yeah, so
they kill women.
Yeah, but
hey. No,
I'll
with
say
that
this.
being said,
yeah.
With that being said,
but that doesn't work with prostitution, though. See, so again, men who pay for prostitutes know that after they're done having sex and they're kissing, licking, and doing everything else, they know that that woman is going on to be with other people, and they've had this whole moment. So there is a line there. So I call cap on that dynamic.
But wait a minute, but I call cap back because women are like that too. You think we can't sleep with a man and be like, I don't care. Go back to your wife. What
I'm saying is right then, Jen. You can be racist. I'm not saying everybody is. You can be racist and sleep with somebody. Pussy is some. That's not conditional.
It is.
That's not conditional.
It is conditional.
That's not conditional.
It's very conditional. It's very conditional.
Nah, that's not conditional.
It's very conditional because check this out. You're racist about a race, right? Well, I don't like them people. They're this, they're that, they're thugs, they're ugly, they're dark, but that one in particular, I want to put my dick in. That is a condition. I'm attracted to this one, so I could fuck this one, but I don't like the race. But I'm attracted. That is a condition. That is the very.
No, that's not a condition.
It's absolutely a condition. It's just like a woman saying, I don't like short men. I don't like fat men. But if that motherfucker's worth $240 billion, guess what? Now I don't like short men conditionally. It's the same thing.
Nah, because on the plantation, those dudes literally could just come from hanging somebody, and then go and fuck a black woman, and it could be the darkest black woman, it could be the lightest black woman, it could be, and then go back and then hang another motherfucker. So that feeling, so just like a man and a woman can cut their emotions off from sex, so can a racist. They can cut their emotions off too. Just like a man and a woman can, or just like a woman can cut her emotions off because the man got money, they can cut him off as well.
But then my feeling is conditional. If I am a woman that says I cannot date fat men, they disgust me. They're gross. But that fat man walks in and he has $240 billion, and I'm like, I'll make an exception here. Then my disgust is conditional. Is what I'm trying to say.
No, you're able to take the emotion out of it.
What emotion? It's not what emotion?
The emotion of just you being into him.
No, it's
If you being into him without the quote unquote
racist,
conditions.
There were racists, right, back then that were like, I don't want to touch Easter animals. I don't want them nowhere near.
Exactly.
Hence the word nigger lover. What are you doing over there? Like, y'all supposed to be over here. How dare you want that black woman? How dare you want that black man? There were people that are true and blue.
But those same people would be saying that, just like that conversation that we had where people would be like, why you touch that hoe? Why you do that? Those, and that same motherfucker behind closed doors is fucking that hoe. So that'd be the same motherfucker that's talking about why you with that nigga lover. And then you like, man, that pussy was good. And he like, huh? And then behind closed doors, he back behind there fucking her. But then he come back out and say, motherfucker, why was you over there?
Yeah, but that
so ultimately Jen is right. And
when we're doing this, because there are white people who would not touch a black person with a 10-foot pole. Are you trying to tell me they didn't exist? They don't exist to this day? Because they exist to this day. They don't even want them in their neighborhood, let alone their bed. Now, of course, there's hypocrisy in every demographic, but best believe you can find an Asian, a white person, a black person, a Latin person that is true blue about what they're not fucking with. And if they do fuck with them, then it's conditional, is my point. That's the definition of conditional. I don't like that unless I'm attracted to it. Then it's conditional.
I mean, you have to, and you're right, Jen. And going back to the term of you saying racist light, you have those that have the position of not wanting to provide social equality. And so when somebody's lynching someone, they're not lynching someone out of hate. Generally, they're lynching someone out of keeping the natives in perspective, so that keeping them in check, so that they're clear. You don't cross this line. Why? Because you saw what happened to Joe Bob. He got his neck hung in front of people and in a public space, so that it sets a note to don't do whatever that person did. Don't whistle at that white woman. Don't, give me the cross eye. Don't make too much money. That's what lynching was about. A lot of times lynching was just about keeping the natives in check. So it's not necessarily, some of those actions were not just about a venomous hate, because that their hate was a disregard and a disrespect for someone else's humanity. So that's clear. That dynamic is clear. So when you're talking about somebody who's sleeping with somebody, Jen is right. There is an aspect that you have to look at, that man did get erect looking at that woman, and there is some sort of emotional attraction that's attached to that experience, or he wouldn't get erect. Like, it just wouldn't happen. Because if you put me in the room with Lizzo, I don't care what she do. It's not going to happen.
Shaming? Are you fat shaming?
I'm chewing on what he's saying right now, and I get his point, and I think he's got some validation to it. But I'm also thinking it doesn't take much to get a guy erect. Now, if you told me,
I mean, if you're not
that's
attracted, if you're not attracted to the person, or you really venomously hate someone, you're not going to. I mean, it's going to take some manual manipulation. And
so you're saying that the Donald Sterling, okay, he messed with black women. So you saying that he was racist? Like you saying he wasn't? You saying he wasn't full fledged?
Yes,
I said
he wasn't full fledged. You see what I'm saying? Because he wouldn't be. He wouldn't light as in light. Not
I mean, like a little bit, like he racist. Like yeah.
Yeah, he's racist light. He didn't like the brothers, but he liked the sisters.
It
wasn't. I'm gonna tell you this. It wasn't. I'm gonna tell you what it was. It was. Again, it was a social status issue. His whole ball was, you're embarrassing me because you're with me, but you have all these other black men who are much more masculine, much more physically endowed, and you're promoting them on your social media. Like, how do I don't even shape up with those guys. So you're embarrassing me when you do that. And she's like, well, what do you mean? What he was really saying is like, that's who you really want to be with, but you're over here with me because of money, and that makes it very clear that I'm just a trick.
Let me acknowledge this comment, because I agree with you 100%, Crested Wiz. Ultimately, we all hypocrites. Yes. The majority of people are fucking hypocrites.
I have a question. Why is that a bad thing? I'm a proud hypocrite. I tell it all the time. Why is that a bad thing?
Oh, wait, Javier Colon says, I say he wasn't racist at all. He was just protective of his girl, because that wasn't his wife. So Sterling, I guess he's saying Sterling wasn't racist at all. He was just protective of his bitch. What y'all think about that?
What?
Nah.
Yeah, he was racist. He was a bigot.
She's the one that threw him under the bus. She like he must have missed a payment or something.
No.
Yeah, look at Dame. Look at Dame. Dame know what I'm saying.
What Damien said, attraction and exercising power over someone are two vastly different things.
Yep, I was going to make that point. There's a lot of, I think Ish is so pure, he doesn't realize that guys are kind of weird and they like a lot of different things, and
let's just call it what it is.
Dominating over somebody is different from loving somebody.
Let's just call it what it is.
Hold on.
It's a fetish. It's a fetish.
Wait, I didn't say nothing about love.
Ish.
I said race is light. I didn't say.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying is that the fact that a guy can get excited can be from different things. It could be from I'm attracted or I want to dominate this person. You know what I mean? So like the person, like you were talking about, the people that on the plantations, that could have been they wanted to dominate. They just wanted to dominate that person. That person couldn't do anything about it.
What you mean, sexually?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but my point was, if something disgusts you and you're fully racist, you don't want to fuck it. You don't want to touch it. That's what I am saying. So you're
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna give it to you, but I still disagree.
You could disagree, but I'm like,
okay. So then let's say this. Let's use this as an example. Okay, are you gonna fuck a dog or a sheep? Because you can.
That question is for no.
And you can dominate it. And you can have some sort of emotional moment. But
I'm leaving.
But I'm making a point here, because if you're disgusted at the thought, if you're repulsed at the thought, then there's no kind of manipulation that's going to allow that circumstance to happen. And that's what she's saying. If you're a devout, pure racist, somebody who just is disgusted at the concept of black people, black women, is like, I don't like the way they smell. Like if they drip their sweat on me, I got to take a bath for 3 weeks straight, like in bleach. like that's
I'm not touching what okay,
right,
yeah,
that's what she's saying. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like you're racist with conditions. Now, I don't know about this. Tap Records said Sterling didn't like Magic. Magic turned it into the entire black race. He was smart to do that, but Sterling was specifically talking about Magic. What do you think about that?
No, because Sterling had some practices where he was in real estate and he did some racist shit back in the day too with that.
Okay, so then no.
So it didn't have nothing to do with Magic. And then he was talking about like I said, the rappers, basically like, what you hanging out with these hoodlums for? And I done put you in a big house. I done gave you all this. I done changed your life, and you sitting here running around with these rappers and these players, and you know what I'm saying?
And his excuse was, this is what I loved about it. I don't determine if it's right or wrong. It just is, and I just live in this society, so I have to live with it. I'm not worried about whether it's right or wrong. Like that alone was like the most finesse excuse that you can ever give anybody. I just live in this society. I didn't make these rules. I just exist in them. So.
Well, we can see that people that have billions of dollars kind of live on a different plane, because they're not going to be, I mean, once you make that kind of, it's like the FU money. You can not be. Most of us, if we felt that way, like say at my job, if I was that way and I let it come out at my job, they're either going to fire me or send me to some kind of racial sensitivity class or something like that. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to worry about that kind of stuff. Neither does Donald Trump or any of these other billionaires.
Well, he doesn't, and that's true, and that's just the byproduct of your personal status in society. But it doesn't change your internal philosophy and how you view the world, and that's the aspect of Donald Sterling that did exist. He views the world through a certain lens. So whether you're rich or you're poor, you're just talking about consequence now. It really wasn't about his wealth. If he was poor, he would be thinking the same way.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
But he wouldn't say it.
But yeah, I agree with you. But the consequences would be different. That's what I'm saying. He's got enough money to where, I feel this way, and what are you going to do about it? No, I agree with you though.
I'll take any consequence where I can go on a racist rant and leave with $2 billion tax free. I would gladly curse every single one of y'all out for $2 billion.
I think that's what Kanye was trying to do, but he forgot most of his shit was liquid. They're like, excuse me, sir, you have to leave your ID and your uniform at the door. That's ours. Escort him out, please.
I'm like, I said, this man.
My God, y'all need to shut up. I just Googled Donald Sterling's net worth, $4 billion. He ain't worried about nobody. That man ain't worried about a damn thing. $4 billion, this motherfucker.
Yeah, that's why I never feel sorry for all these owners. Like I think Carolina they had to sell their franchise. Now Dan Snyder has to sell the Commanders. I'm like, oh, boo-hoo. That's a toy to them.
Steve Ballmer.
The former CEO of Microsoft, or one of the founders of Microsoft.
Microsoft. Yeah, he bought the Clippers.
He's worth $79 billion. $79 billion.
Yeah, and that's because he retired early. He'd be one of the richest men in the world if he never left Microsoft. But
I want some fuck you money. I need fuck you money with my mouth. Fuck off. Fuck you.
I'd be worried. I'd be worried if you had $79 billion. It wouldn't even be what you said. It'd be about what you did. I think you'd be like North Korea. You'd buy you a little island, have you some followers of the people, and a small nuclear, and you'd be doing nuclear testing while you're there.
I believe it. I believe it.
Would be women, and they would have camel bikinis. All my soldiers.
No.
You'd have your whole bunch of dudes feeding you grapes and shit.
You damn right.
Now this will be perfect, right? She'll have like $5 billion, her own island, and she just drops a massive TikTok of dropping the N-bomb just to troll the planet every single chance she could get.
The first thing she would do is deplatform Pearly White.
That's too nice. You think that's all right? That would be me being nice.
She said being nice. Listen, y'all crazy.
I didn't get no super chats tonight. I feel bad.
Ain't that crazy how she feel bad?
Nobody loves me. See, I'm trying to get the fuck you money, and I can't get the fuck you money unless y'all super chat me. So back to the topic, guys. We're gonna close out. OnlyFans, your mama. So we're gonna close out. Fat Joe, I don't know who came in late, but I started this video. Joe lost $20 million, a $20 million Jordan deal because he was beefing. Fat Joe lost a $20 million Jordan deal when he was beefing with 50 Cent. Remember that little beef they had, and we thought they was gonna finally fight, and then the fight never happened. Well, that time. Oh wait, you young. When did you wait, Tristan? Were you even around?
I thought it was just 50 Cent and Ja Rule.
No, that was another beef.
Nah, that was the main one. He had a beef with everybody back then. It was 50 Cent. It was Fat Joe, Jada Kiss, a whole bunch of people.
Man, listen.
50 still beefing with people to this day.
Listen, he's the greatest troll of all time.
Thank you. See, Israel Grace sent me a super chat. Thank you.
She really bullying.
Somebody loves me.
She really bullying people into super chat.
up, Tristan. I am not bullying anybody. Kumbaya, my lord.
You deserve a super chat. You earn your super chat.
Brother, if you're enabling, you are enabling. That's what called enabling is. You're enabling her right now.
I'm a codependent.
But they cool now. Fat Joe and 50, they cool now. They
Fat Joe did say that they cool. It was Chris Lighty, right? Something that happened with Chris Lighty.
Yep, he died, and they had squashed it.
Well, I really have a real question. Like, right? You said with Nike, was it? What was Fat Joe really that popular back then?
What you mean?
Yeah, he had
he's a
song Lean Back.
Yeah, he's a sneakerhead. He's a sneakerhead. So if you're Jordan, if you got a brand, then you would be wise to put some sneakers on him. Remember back then the rappers got sneaker deals. Run DMC got a deal. 50 got a deal. Jay-Z got a deal. They used to get deals back in the day.
Damian Dash got a deal.
Dame Dash got a deal.
He's not even a rapper, and he got a deal.
And so before they paved the way for Kanye to get his deal. You know what I'm saying? So so Jordan was like because that's when Joe. That's one thing you got to give him. His sneaker game is vicious.
Who?
Fat Joe.
Oh yeah, I know. He be licking the bottom. I don't like that part of it.
Oh no, I don't know about all that. But I'm saying Jordan was wise to give him a deal. You know what I'm saying? Because Joe is a good marketer, and plus he's known for sneakers. So if somebody see him wearing something, they're gonna be like, "What he got?" He's one of the ones that if you see Joe had it, you may be inclined to go out there and cop it. You know what I'm saying? So it was Jordan's a businessman, but then he said, "I ain't with all that. I ain't with all that beefing and all that old stuff and all that."
Now he's pushing Pepsi. Fat Joe pushing Pepsi now. It's a major
Diet Pepsi, I think, ain't it?
Yo, why he say Diet Pepsi and his name Fat Joe?
No, he is. No, he do. Because if you watch his little shows, he always got a Diet Pepsi.
Yeah. I need to talk to this PR man. I'm like, yo,
he went to the Breakfast Club. He pulled out a can.
His name is Fat Joe. You got this man pushing out Diet Pepsi. I'm like,
well, he's not so fat no more. Fat Joe slimmed way down. If you remember back in the day, he was really Fat Joe. He actually slimmed down. He actually slimmed way down.
Yeah, he was.
I would look at that PR person like this, like you trolling, right? Like what we gonna promote insulin next? That's what we doing. Like I don't know. I think that's weird. I'd just be upset.
Oprah.
Well, don't disrespect my wife. My wife can do whatever she wants.
Oprah has Weight Watchers, man.
No,
she bought Weight Watchers. Okay, we're not gonna do not.
Oprah got that. Fuck you, I'm fat and what money?
Hey, Oprah lost weight too. Oprah not as big as she was back in the day. Oprah lost weight too.
Listen, Oprah ain't lose weight, okay? She ain't lose weight. She always been perfect, all right? It's something wrong with your eyes, all right? We're not gonna.
Tristan is if you got the rolls, he got the butter.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Listen.
He'll take the fat girls. Tab Record says, remember when rappers were hating on Hammer for having all those brand deals back in the day? He said they were jealous and they proved him right. Well, dang.
Oh, yeah. I remember Hammer. Hey, remember Hammer had a Hammer. What was he doing? It was McDonald's. It was McDonald's or one. Which one was it? It was Taco Bell. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm looking at Taco Bell now.
Didn't Mary J. Blige? I know we're going off topic here, but didn't Mary J. What she did? Popeyes or some shit? Mary J. Blige, and then they dragged her online. She was singing like on a table. Was it Popeyes?
What's wrong with that?
I don't remember that one. Was that back in the day or that was recent?
Oh no, it wasn't that long ago. And they dragged her, and I'm like, let Mary get her chicken coins. Yeah, they dragged her. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Shout out to Mary J. Blige, yo.
Somebody put BK chicken.
What is it?
Burger King chicken.
Oh, it was Burger King.
Burger King chicken, what?
Wait, no. Oh yeah. Mary J. Blige Burger King commercial. Yeah, people.
I gotta look that up when we get off.
Okay. What's in those new chicken snack wraps? What's in the new chicken wraps? Mary?
crispy chicken, fresh lettuce, three cheeses, fresh dressing wrapped up in love. No.
Yeah, man, let her get her money.
You
Let her get her
lying.
money.
You
Oh
lying.
man.
I didn't. Did I just see that?
No.
Did I just see that? I did not just see that. I didn't see that. Did
I
I?
knew about that. They dragged her so bad. It was bad.
What was they saying about her?
She earned that.
A black
she
woman talking about crispy chicken on a table.
Oh, about chicken. Okay, yeah.
She earned that drag. She earned it.
Oh,
And
man.
Hammer was dancing for a bucket of chicken or something. Like he was
I think
dancing
he
for
did
Kentucky
KFC
Fried
too.
Chicken. Yeah, so that was like, I mean,
Well,
that fit into every stereotype
yeah.
about like how black people like fried chicken, and
Well,
he's dancing for some chicken. Like that was just.
Oh, wait, check it out. Check this out. This is interesting. It says Mary J. Blige has spoken out against her commercial that was pulled by Burger King from YouTube yesterday, and she is throwing the brand under the bus. She says the commercial is totally different from the concept she was presented when she signed on one of the fast food chain's spokespeople in its new campaign. I agreed to be a part of a fun and creative campaign that was supposed to feature a dream sequence. Unfortunately, that's not what was happening in that clip. So I understand my fans being upset by what they saw. But if you're a Mary fan, you have to know I would never allow an unfinished spot like the one you saw go out. You sang the chicken song.
So I'm just gonna say this. It sounds like Mary J. Blige and the SNL producers have the same PR team, because all of a sudden you were presented something completely different from what they originally said to what was presented. I'm sorry. I'm calling this is cap. She
so
should
this is a recent commercial.
I'm calling Cap because she sang the song. So whether they put it in a dream sequence or in the backyard, she's still saying, crispy chicken.
I know, Jen, but Jen, you know that you'll be on a set somewhere and you think it's going to be shot a certain way, and they use these cameras and it looks totally different when it gets on TV.
Like she read the script. She read the script. They told her what's going to be on the script.
No, I get it. I think she's doing some PR. But as far as the Hammer, just the sidebar to that, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, and KFC and Pepsi, they're all the same company. So, not that makes a difference. He did KFC, but
who is that?
Taco Bell, Pizza Hut. It's all part of PepsiCo. Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, KFC.
I remember that when Hammer was dancing for the chicken for KFC back in the day too.
Dancing for the chicken?
Yeah, he was. He was dancing for the bucket of chicken.
But I call Cap because if I did a commercial and they had the best lighting and then Jen, we're gonna put you in a mansion and there's gonna be a Bentley outside. We just need you to sing rice and beans. Arroz con pollo. There's no way. But you're gonna be in a mansion. I'm not singing about rice and beans, bitch. It doesn't matter what it is. I know what you're trying to do.
Jen, if I give you $200 million
and give me some Goya and some,
you better sing. You better add in Sazone as well. If I'm giving you $50 million, listen, you better sing that damn song. Sing that song.
I see. That's what they told Hammer. They told him. And then he came in there like, uh-oh. He came in that motherfucker like, I'm with it.
Oh man. But what about, well, I'm sure y'all expect that from him, but Terry Crews with the bee thing in the little bee costume recently for Cheerios. No, honeycomb. I'm sorry, honeycomb. And he had the
Terry
honeycomb.
Terry Crews is a
he's always done that though. You gotta remember, he's always done those type of things.
But they didn't bother nobody. But Mary J. Blige and Hammer bothered.
Well, because I think they see Mary J. Blige and Hammer as, people think Hammer is soft. Hammer from Oakland. Hammer used to whoop motherfuckers' asses.
Yeah, I saw the documentary.
No, Hammer used to whoop motherfuckers' asses. Hammer could fight and all that. You know what I'm saying? But I think so. They expect a little more from. We don't expect too much from Terry Crews. I mean, he's not the standard for what you would call anything like. If you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, but here's Terry.
My wings are a buzzing. Let's get this day going.
Let's get this day going.
Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let's get this day going. Let Aren't you? Kevin, a man be talk. You got a big day today. Missing the bus, math pop quiz, awkwardly asking Lisa out. What? So let's get her going with Big Honey Crunch. You hear that? That's Kevin crunching the day.
They put a honeycomb on a rope chain on this man. There's the sign, gentlemen. The only one that laughed is the white guy on the pants.
Exactly. I heard that too.
That's a nervous laugh, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Silent.
Color it any way you want to.
No,
But,
that's one of those.
We won't even dive down that road.
That's one of those uncomfortable laughs. Like, oh my god, I didn't notice the chain.
Terry Crews also got fondled by his agent in front of his wife. So he's already placed himself in a category of questionable. And I couldn't do anything because I didn't want to be the angry black man in the room. Like, what?
Tab Records, you're disrespectful. Tab Records said both of them were bucking their eyes a little too much.
He was, though. He was. That's what. If anything was funny, that's what was funny.
Full-blown prostitute.
He was really bucking and showing his teeth, and he was doing the whole. He did the whole.
Why the honeycomb on the rope chain?
He is a full-blown prostitute. He needs to be on Figueroa and Hunts Point.
Wait a minute, though. Terry Crews's costume was similar to the Rock's costume when he played that fairy, the Tooth Fairy.
In what?
Yeah, he's in the Rock's played it. He played a gay guy in some movie too.
The Rock?
Yeah. It's one.
Well, you gotta remember, The Rock is a wrestler too, though. So remember, they do all type of stuff in wrestling. You know what I mean?
You better be careful. She loves The Rock. Be careful now, right now.
Yeah, he played back in the I want to say it was like 2003 or 2004. He was in a movie. He was a.
Okay, it was called it was called the Tooth Fairy. He was literally a Tooth Fairy. Look, there he is. Oh wait, oh yeah, he's in the full. Yeah.
I mean, the goal of white Jewish Hollywood is to emasculate the African and the indigenous male. I mean, come on.
The white man laughed again.
I've heard it because I've been listening. I hang around that. The conspiracy.
Again,
I mean, it could be some truth to it, but I don't think everybody is trying to do that.
That's our cue.
It doesn't have to be everybody to be complicit in an ideology. It doesn't have to be like a town hall meeting where everybody sits around and
no, I got what you're saying, but you're saying to make the black man look weak, I guess, right? Or unthreatening. If
you're a dog and I'm gonna use an animal analogy since dogs and cats don't get along. If you're a dog and you're in charge of the whole film industry and now you're booking cats, you're not going to book cats to look greater than dogs. You're going to have them always look weaker than dogs. Why? Because that is your goal in keeping your position of power. So it's the same thing. There's an innate desire of having a position of power and not to allow anybody to encroach upon that. It's like your child is not going to take over your house. You're going to always be the dominant dog in the house.
Let me push back a little bit. Just food for thought, right? I scroll TikTok and Instagram all fucking day long, right? I do reels. I'm monetized. I have to do this. I'm not there because I like it. It pays. Now, Brother Isha, I think I brought this to you before. There are countless black men dancing a jig on TikTok and Instagram, and there's not a Jew in sight. There's not a white contract in sight, but they are some dancing folks. They are dancing and TikTok, and I'm talking about big black men that look like they could play for the NFL, Terry Crews size. And they're kind of like, let's get the TikTok on, and you know what I mean? And let's do that, you know what I mean? So our Black men more inclined to be more loosey goosey, goofy dancing? We dance because our background, not in a bad way, but our background is very culturally, we're dancers. We're always, there's the salsa and bachata and the African dance. And it's like, are we more inclined to just be more free with expression? And just white people aren't because they don't have a culture. Does that play a part in it?
Well, hold on. Let me answer. Because you got white people that's dancing too.
Yeah.
You got
but
like
black people, I know, world, but
I understand your point. I understand your point, Jen, and what you're trying to present. Is this actually in him being the individual moving in an masculine way, or is this part of just a cultural expression? I get your question. I in a lot of scenarios like where you talk about the those who believe in the conspiracy of the feminization of the darker skinned people on the planet, there is an intentional dynamic to make an individual look effeminate, and they always go after the very strong and the very powerful to put them in dresses, to put them in tutus, and they don't go after just somebody who's scrawny and weak, because that's an obvious trope for that scenario. But they always go for like the Mike Tysons, the Rocks. They go for those individuals to emasculate them, and that was one where Dave Chappelle said when he was being interviewed, and he talked about that. He says, "No, I'm not going to put on a dress." And he's like, everybody thought it was funny and it was great, and they tried to have him do it 3 or 4 different times, and he said, "No, that wasn't even in the story. It's an old gag. Let's not do it. I'm not going to do it." And they try to sneak it in on him. So there's an intentional dynamic that's there.
Right. Let me go back to something World said, though. World said white guys do it too, right? But then it goes back to another show that we did. Are we too hard on black men? Because the thing is, white guys do it and everybody keys. When a black man,
I'm saying not only white guys, white girls do it too. Like are the black girls twerking and the Spanish girls and everybody's twerking? You got white girls.
Hear me out.
Okay.
I'm saying that it goes back to the stream I had. Are we too hard on black men? Because all them people do it that you just said. But when a black man does it, it's the effemination of the black man. And why he's shucking and jiving. And he's shucking and buck. You understand what I'm saying? When a black man, you don't let him live.
Because historically that has been the dynamics. Historically, that was the only options for roles, was to be a shucking and jiving type of individual that was demeaning. Hold on, let me finish my point. That was the historical dynamic that existed, and that was the options. When we came into another aspect of our career, there was no need for us to continue to take these demeaning roles that diminished our humanity and had us looking in a very buffoon-like way. And that's why that still exists, as far as somebody saying, "I'm not going to be a coon," or "this person is acting like a coon," because it's also, what is the intent? What is the intention behind it? We're not talking
I agree with what you're saying, Brother Ish. I believe this is separate than what Jen is saying, as far as people just on TikTok maybe dancing, having a good time, or maybe they may be dancers by trade. Some of these people are dancers by trade. So I believe what you're saying, Ish, that very well does exist. I know that for a fact that exists in that standpoint, from that standpoint. But you got to also remember, like Jen said, as far as dancing, it's just kind of in a lot of us, as far as black people, Latin people, and even white people. It could be white people.
Right? Are we more inclined because we have such a rich culture of music?
Remember back in the day at a family gathering, it could be Christmas and the whole family is there. What is your grandma and aunties and all they do? They pull the kids up. Come on, y'all, dance for grandma. You know what I'm saying? And we all get in the middle and we dance. You know what I'm saying? So then we grow up. We go to parties. You know what I'm saying? We dancing at the parties. You know what I'm saying? Then we hit the club. You know what I'm saying? But that's also been to the detriment, because it got to the point where people thought it was so emasculine to dance that at the club you had all the niggas standing on the wall, to the point where you had the women dancing with each other. And people got scared to dance after a while.
I remember.
You know what I'm saying?
Welcome to my world.
So I wanna address this. Damien said you can, brother Ish. You can say no to putting on the dress. You can say no to putting on the dress. Terry Crews could have punched the dude in his face who grabbed his nutsack at the party. You can say no. So are we going to continue blaming these white people who are putting these black comedians in a dress? When do black men take the responsibility of that dress?
I'm not blaming white people. I blame Terry Crews for that.
Put on a dress. Dave Chappelle did put on a dress.
Where?
Continue. I'll get it for you.
But I'm not blaming white people on. I mean, they're going to do what they're going to do. I blame Terry Crews. That's why I called him a full-blown prostitute. Like, he's a whore for hire. Like, that's just what he is.
No, but when you said that what they do is try to get the biggest, blackest guy and emasculate him and put him in a dress, why can't that man say no? I don't want to do it.
I mean, he can, but again, that depends on the level of his internal sense of masculinity. And a lot of times these males are not true men in relationship to saying, I don't feel that this best serves this project to do this. Or I'm not going to, my agent.
I think he could have said no. I think he chose not to say no. I think he could have said no.
Well, again, his agent may have came to him and said, if you do this, you'll get this. And if he's a prostitute, then he's going to go for it.
He has on a wig. And he has on a dress.
What is that? I can't see it. I'm working off my phone, so
I would have to email it to myself. I don't know how to share
do it again. Do it again.
That's him in a long wig, and that's a dress.
Yeah. I never knew he did this project.
This is Robin Hood Men in Tights. They're all in dresses, actually, except for the Robin Hood. You see all these guys here?
It's a comedy, yeah.
Yeah, it's a comedy. Of course, he's gonna be. That guy there has the fake boobs with the purple top and glasses. Then there's Chappelle in his dress with the black wig.
Well, then that throws in the face of what he said, though. So then that's on what he said and what he represented in that interview. It was on what was the show? Actors in the Actors Studio. In the Actors Studio, he did an interview and he spoke specifically about
was that
not
Byron
wearing a
Alley?
dress. No. I'm talking about Dave Chappelle.
And then Tap Records is true. Going way back, look at Milton Berle, Flip Wilson, etc. Dresses on comedians go back so far. I believe it started from minstrel shows, but black and white comedians do it now. And then there was that Shakespeare shit where they didn't even allow women to act. So the men in dresses, like
Tom Hanks. Remember Bosom Buddies? Tom Hanks.
Mm-hmm. Skinny comedians do it all the time. Chris Rock, CB4, Arsenio Hall, Coming to America, Kevin Hart, SNL.
And right now, Shaquille O'Neal in his commercial, Shaq Rooney.
Yeah, Martin did it.
I personally canceled Shaq off my list of support.
Martin not only did it, Martin did it on the show and he did it on Big Mama's House.
Why'd you cancel? Y'all are so emotional. Why you cancel Shaq?
I'm not rolling with Shaq.
He does so much for so many people. Y'all are too emotional, Lord. I'm like, y'all throw the baby out with the bathwater. That man has done so much for black people. When he said something about something, and now y'all like, no, throw him away. Y'all can't be that emotional.
Shaq knows better. That's my position.
Knows better than what? What did he do?
I mean, he just knows better. He runs in a lot of circles with a lot of influential and knowledgeable people, and to make some of the choices that he's made in relationship to his commentary, I just don't respect it. That's just me.
You talking about the Jewish thing?
Yeah. The statement that he made about Kyrie, he didn't have to make it in the manner that he did. For him to demean.
Let me ask you something. Do you feel the same way about Charles Barkley?
Absolutely. I've never.
Okay, just curious because he's
fine. I mean, it's your business. I don't care. I don't have.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that was my personal thing. It's not, not a collective thing. It's like, this is my personal opinion, how I feel about the situation.
No, I know. But I'm saying, do you of sound heart and mind throw away everything that man has done for Black people because you don't like something he said about Kyrie in a 5-minute rant? Like, is that really what we're doing?
I didn't say I'm throwing away all of what he's done. I said I don't fuck with him now. I'm not saying that you cannot acknowledge. I will acknowledge any good that any man does, but in my opinion, you know better. You should have done better, and you have a responsibility. Having been an athlete, having been in situations, knowing the struggle that you go through as an athlete, to now be his elder in that situation and not even say, okay, well, I'm gonna have a conversation with him privately, or I think that, this, that, and the other. He called the man an idiot right there on TV and said he's an idiot for da 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 because he's kowtowing to his financial interests, which is fine. That's his business, but I don't respect it.
But I think that, well, I'm gonna give you a little pushback and a little cap. You don't need the big cap, but a little cap, because there's so many assumptions going on about people. It's crazy. You're like, he's kowtowing to his financial history. What if Shaq really feels that Kyrie's an idiot? Like, what if a broke Shaq would feel Kyrie's an idiot?
Then why not have a conversation with Kyrie and say, I think you're being idiotic right now. Versus
to appease who? You think about what you're saying.
I'm saying being not to appease me. I'm saying being a former athlete, being in the have been in the public eye.
And I got all of that. Don't repeat it because it's late. Okay. I got everything that you said. I understand why you said it.
Okay, so then that's my point.
I'm saying, but to appease who? Why did Shaq have to address Kyrie the way you think he should have? Is my question. Who are you? That's my question. Like, why does a grown man who has his own family, his own business, his own career, why does Shaq have to move the way you think he should move when you have no investment with him? You are not related to him. That's not your father, your brother, your uncle. Why does Shaq have to move the way you think he should move, or the way he should handle another Black person? I'm just asking.
Because that's my perspective on how I view things, and being that individual, I have the right to say that's how I think it should go. Now, if he chooses not to do it, I'm insignificant. I don't buy his products. I don't walk around with Shaq tennis shoes or T-shirts or anything of that nature. So I'm a gnat on the wall in relationship in comparison. But I have that opinion in relationship to my opinion about him. And if I was ever to run into his circles and it was to come up, I would honestly share my opinion. I wouldn't be just a fanboy. I'd be like, I don't fuck with you. And he was like, why? Because I don't think you don't have to be a
fanboy. Don't exaggerate the point, right? To make it, you don't have to be a fanboy to agree with Shaq. Like, I'm not a fan.
No, I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. No, what I was saying, I wasn't saying to agree with Shaq. I'm saying I'm not going to be a fanboy and be different in in front of him and have a private opinion in the back of my head. That's what I meant. Like, some people change their opinion. Like, they'll, like, in this circumstances, I would say I don't like Shaq, and then you see me on set with Shaq, and I'm like, hey, Shaq, how you doing? Can I take a picture with you? That's what I was saying. That's what I meant by being a fanboy. Being hypocritical in relationship.
I don't get it. Like, I don't understand how people, because then it's the, you know what I mean? It's a bit of hypocrisy, right? Because let's say, for instance, like, let's say you follow a leader who's done all these great things, right? And then he says that one thing, and then everybody wants to cancel him. You're going to come out beating your chest. Wait a minute, look at all the good stuff he's done. He just said that, but look at all the stuff he's done. And then that's exactly what we do to other people. Like, that is literally what you're doing to Shaq. So fuck all the money Shaq is giving away. Fuck all the opportunities he's giving away to Black people, right? Fuck the good father he is, how he's maintained his children intact. Forget all of that. He shouldn't have said that to Kyrie out loud.
Because Shaq did the same thing to Kyrie. Look at all the good things that Kyrie's done. All the putting people through college and donating money and uh, buying George Floyd's home or whatever he did. He's done a lot of good things that's on paper. But he does this one thing, and then Shaq calls him an idiot. So we all pick people up and throw them out. Ain't that the name of the game?
Yeah,
Ain't that the that's actually a segue into this show.
No, but I don't think that's what Shaq did. Tap Records, I agree with you. Shaq was speaking as a commentator.
No, that was a personal opinion.
Right, but still as a commentator on a public platform.
No. He didn't commentate. No.
He was commentating.
I'm saying he did the same thing that you just said Brother Ish did.
No, it's not the same thing, because did Shaq say I don't fuck with him? He knows better. Like, did he say I don't fuck with him?
He said he's an idiot. That means he's.
We call each other, but that's calling someone an idiot is different than I don't fuck with him no more because of what he said.
That's basically saying I don't fuck with you. You're an idiot.
Calling someone an idiot.
Yeah, no, but if I'm in Kyrie's position and I see that everything is coming down on me right now, and then you're adding fuel to the fire, you're an idiot. I'm gonna remember you. I'm gonna remember that you said that when I got all this fire coming my way. And I on top of that, I got you telling me I'm an idiot. I'm losing my contract. I'm suspended. I can't play the game I love. I'm losing contracts. I got to do all this bullshit. And then on top of that, I got you saying I'm an idiot. So you're piling up. That's more than commentary.
So you don't. It's commentary though. It was commentary on a show, and the discussion was kind
Yeah, but it's personal.
That's not personal. It's commentary on a show. No different than we're doing here. It's commentary. Here's my thing. How do you know? How do any of us know? We just don't. I hate the not knowing, right? And then saying something happened because this is the reason why. Maybe Shaq was saying you're an idiot because he has been through it, because he does know the game, because he does know business. No one here is going to say that Shaq don't know motherfucking business, okay? Shaq knows business. So maybe he's saying you're an idiot in a sense of an older person to a young person. Kyrie, you know better. You know better than to post certain things. You know better than to take a stance on certain things. You're an idiot. You know
but
better.
Really, he don't, because like we talked about earlier, Kyrie has a pattern of going against the grain.
But maybe
so this isn't nothing new.
Maybe that's why he called him an idiot. That's my point. Like, stop being an idiot. Wouldn't you say that to your younger brother?
So
here's
but I would say it behind the scenes.
Hey,
hold on, listen. This is a perfect example. I wouldn't be around a whole bunch of girls and then say, "Hey, call my brother an idiot" in front of these whole bunch of girls. We out with some girls, and I'm commentating, but I'm saying, "Hey, man, you's an idiot." I'm not gonna say that out in the public.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna pull him to the side, and once we get home, I'm gonna be like, "Man, you was an idiot, man."
This is the quote that Shaq said: "The game we used to love and we promote, it brings people together, and it hurts me sometimes when we have to sit up here and talk about stuff that divides the game. Now we got to answer for what? Now listen, now we got to answer for what this idiot has done."
Yeah, what's the problem?
I stand for equality of. Now listen to this. Just listen to the language. I stand for equality of all people. I've always been like that. It don't matter what religion, no matter where you're from. I don't really want to sit up here and answer questions for what he's done. If you're looking at me, it's my job to make people happy. I can't speak for him or answer for what he's doing. It's obvious by his answers he doesn't really care. Now, let's really look at what.
That's excellent. That's why you don't.
That's well written.
That was
by
terrible.
A publicist that was handed to him. This man literally just put a tweet of a documentary up. He didn't say he believed in it. He didn't say.
And another thing.
And he said he researched the name that was reflective of his name historically, and this was the first documentary that came up. He watched it. He thought it was interesting and tweeted it, and didn't put anything like, "Hey, this is great."
I know that whole story. Listen, I know.
So he's not dividing people.
You're trying to demonize Shaq. That was very fucking diplomatic and political. I don't want to talk about this shit. I'm sitting up here, y'all asking me about it. It's dividing the game of basketball. I think that was an excellent statement. You made it sound like he went up there and was like, that stupid motherfucker idiot, and he shouldn't be up there and doing it. You made it sound, is that it? Was that the entire quote, or are we missing something?
Hey, listen, he also played that movie at one of his theaters.
Yeah, I know about that. I mean, he owns theaters, so he probably don't know what the fuck is playing in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand.
That's
I understand you say. I understand you saying that he just posted a link. I'm just gonna play ish devil's advocate ish. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. If I don't know what's it. Who's the guy for Dallas? The basketball player, the white guy from Europe.
Luka Doncic.
Luka Doncic, if he said, hey, if he put up a link to Birth of a Nation, not the new one, the one from back in the 20s, and said, I just saw this, I thought it was interesting. You don't think he would get flagged for that?
He'd probably be barred from his own country.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, the we know that was also screened in the White House. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
I mean,
no,
I
get your
that.
Point. I get your point. I get your point on that dynamic. But I mean, he absolutely would, and that was clearly. But I don't think that this documentary was on the level of Birth of a Nation. Like that's.
You sure? Didn't the documentary
say
didn't happen?
We have to remember that documentary from
what I
have been told.
The Holocaust didn't happen.
Yeah,
I didn't see that portion, and I watched a portion of that documentary. I didn't stay for the whole thing. Like I didn't watch the whole thing.
And
but
for
I
it
didn't
to
see
support,
that's like a white basketball player sharing a fucking documentary where someone's saying slavery never happened. It was a fucking lie.
Yep, and then for them to and for that film to support Hitler the way it does, it's a problem. That documentary is a problem.
So that documentary supported Hitler because I didn't see it till the end.
It's certain things Hitler said it supported, and listen, that's just no matter if people agree or not. That associating yourself with that man in any way, shape, or form is a no. It's just like saying, hey, you know what? You're Lucifer. I don't agree with everything you do, but this point I agree. You can't. Like that's a no.
I just think that people pick and choose that, like the topic, like World said, this is a topic, the faux outrage, the whatever. These same people or support pedophiles. The same people that I've seen tearing down Shaq for just merely what he said out his mouth, those same people support R. Kelly. The same exact, when I tell you the same exact people, and R. Kelly was molesting 14-year-olds, married to 15-year-olds, started grooming them at 12 years old. Those same people will call R. Kelly their brother. They'll support him. They'll say the white man is after him. But Shaq called an idiot because that's what Kyrie's acting like. He's acting like an idiot, in my opinion as well. So we ain't fucking with Shaq. But y'all fuck with the pedophiles, the red, because you gotta save the degenerates. You gotta bring them in and change them and turn them into good men. But Shaq, who's helped so many, many, many more, just said, you're acting like a fucking idiot. You know what it is. Cut the shit.
I mean, at the end of the day, you
with Shaq though.
Yeah, you got the people that's not gonna fuck with him, and you got people that's gonna fuck with him. I mean, that's just kind of what it is.
It goes back, correct. It goes back to we're not a monolith. Like, you have to understand that there are some Black and brown people on the planet that really feel the way they feel. Some of them support Trump. Juana Washington, she's like Trump 2024. Some people really feel, and just because they got melanin, like they're not part of that club where it's like the white guy's out to get us. People have to understand that. So
yeah, no, it's not about the white guy being. It's not about the white guy being out to get you. Because I mean, Juana's cool. I don't fuck with Trump, but does that mean that she's a bad person because she fuck with him? No, that's her prerogative.
Well, I mean, the thing with Kyrie was very much the white man. You know, the white man trying to get Kyrie down, and you're gonna be a Black guy and defend him. You know what I mean? That's where it comes from. But I think we fail to realize there are some Black and brown people that really have a stance on money and really have a stance on race and really have a stance on politics that don't mirror yours.
Yeah, exactly. But and just like they don't mirror yours and they don't agree with what you say and they don't rock with you to a certain degree, then it could be the same way, vice versa. And it don't have to be no disrespect or nothing like that. You can just simply say I don't fuck with them. Joanna says all the time she don't fuck with certain people. You gotta respect it. You can't be like, girl, you supposed to fuck with him because they did this or they did that or because they're Black or because they're this. She's like, no, I don't fuck with them. I fuck with Trump.
And I agree with you. I really, really do. I'm just calling out the hypocrisy. I'm just calling out the hypocrisy because if you're gonna stand on this moral high horse, right? If you're gonna stand on the moral high, you're gonna sit on the moral high horse and say that's bad, but then you got a whole rapist in your backyard. But we got to stick together and fix the degeneracy in our neighborhood. It's hypocrisy. Because
I don't agree with supporting rapists.
Why not embrace Shaq and call him your brother and say, brother, you just called somebody an idiot. You misspoke. We embrace you anyway because you're our brother, right?
Ultimately, you're right. You're right on that.
The rapist, the same way you do for the pedophile. Embrace your brother. Embrace your brother.
I don't do it for the pedophile, Jen. So I will never stand on the same page for that. Stop you there. I'm never going to do that for a pedophile.
Never stand on the same page for what?
When you say that I stand in support of helping the pedophile or repairing the pedophile, I don't get down like that.
Well, maybe you don't, but people in your organization do. Christians do. Okay, Catholics do, but then they'll look at somebody else and say, oh no, that's too much because it rubs me the wrong way. So I'm calling out the hypocrisy. So let's not pretend there's no hypocrisy.
Well, yeah, there is. I think that's people choosing to fuck with what they want to fuck with and get outraged by what they want to get outraged by. That's like the topic of the show.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like people going back into these tweets and doing all this shit. And should there be a clause? There's people that agree with them and there's people that disagree with them. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, this time, it's not just Black women that are outraged on Twitter or Black men that are outraged on Twitter. You got people that are actually moving and shaking things that are outraged. So that's a whole different thing from getting canceled online than getting canceled. You know what I'm saying?
That's true though. There's a canceling we ain't never seen before. There's a whole different level of canceling. Like how a man go from 2 billion to 400 million over.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So what's some people in fucking Iowa canceling you? That ain't got shit to do with like these motherfuckers that's really got power behind they canceling, and they actually showing you with action, not just words and tweets. You know what I'm saying?
Like, and let me tell you, I'm with Kyrie about the vaccines, but I think he's an idiot about the earth. See?
No, Kyrie's just
I'm not throw Kyrie away because he's an idiot, because he's a flat earther. I'm not going to throw him away. I think that's stupid. But, I'm all about the vaccine is your choice. Shouldn't be abandoned.
Kyrie's a delusional, confident idiot, and that's dangerous.
Hey, Jen?
Yeah?
I agree. And listen, I told you a little bit about my sister the other day. And I wanted to go back at her because she gave me a list of things. And one of the things was the forced vaccine. And I wanted to tell her, nobody forced you to get it because you would have got it if it was forced. Now, you made a choice. Your job told you you need to get it. My job told me I need to get it. It was a choice. I made the choice to get it because I didn't want to lose my job. Now, it's not a comfortable choice, but it is a choice.
And that's how they got a lot of people. I lost work because I wouldn't take the jab. I lost work, important work, but that was my choice.
Yeah, Hollywood. We got a lot of films down here too, and yeah.
Right. They were like, they don't even want you on set unless you have proof of vaccination. I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. So I lost money. I lost some good money, but it was a choice. I can't go get the jab and then say they made me. Nobody made me.
Oh, so you didn't get it?
No, I didn't get it. I lost money and a very important gig. But It was my choice. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm cool. And now look, life is back to normal. The people who are gonna die died, unfortunately, both vaxxed and unvaxxed. Okay.
And in New York, those people are all getting their money back, including Kyrie.
They're getting their money back, and now sets aren't the same. Now when I answer a gig, it's like you don't have to just take a COVID test before, and you'll be fine. But you know, it was tricky back then. It was like you can't even step on set. Okay, they had COVID experts on set, like checking where everybody's sitting. When you get up, we got to spray this down. Everybody had gloves on. It was wild.
She ain't lying. I was involved.
They had zones where you if you weren't in a certain status in relationship to whether you had vaccinated or not, you couldn't go into certain zones near actors. So they had zoned out different areas on set.
Excuse me, who are you? I can't go where? Oh, I can't live in Hollywood. I'd be upset.
That was on set. He's talking about sets.
Yeah, but that's on set.
I thought he meant like driving like a regular day.
Oh no! It's on set. You couldn't like stand close to the camera or by the certain lights or on the set near the actor if you weren't either in certain aspects of being vaccinated or not. It was crazy. Like,
and then you had
I came to work. I didn't come here to be like segregated.
Yeah, and then you have the director's assistants coming over. Hey, you need to mask up. You need to mask up.
But Brother Ish, you should have been in paradise. That was the perfect form of separatism. You should have been happy.
You see, I utilize the language segregation. There's a difference between separation. Separation is a choice. Segregation is forced. Okay? So
now,
let's be clear.
And outside the door, I did a gig, and outside the door, they had little cubbies with each actor's name on it and your COVID kit before you walked in. So you had to stop at the front, get your little cubby with all your COVID shit in it, and then walk in. It was wild. And every time you got up, like from the makeup chair, they had to wipe down the makeup chair. It was interesting. It was interesting. Interesting time.
That's too much.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, man. I would just told the set, listen, if you get it, you just fire it and call it a day. Yeah. And on to the next one. That's all. Man. Just starting people's jobs.
My friends were vaxxed and they died. Not like close friends, like social media friends who I may have seen here and there. Three of them.
Okay, but did they die from the vaccine or they died from the COVID?
Well, who knows, right? No saying. Who knows?
No say knows.
No, hey,
he has a file. He has a dossier.
I have the dossier.
He has a dossier.
You have the file, no say. You know what happened. All right, guys. Before we go into 3 hours, y'all are not doing this to me because after I stay 2 hours, I turn into a fucking gremlin and somebody gets cussed out. Okay, so I'm finding my rhythm. After 2 hours, I'm like, one of you's gonna get it, right? And I love y'all too much to keep spazzing up here. So before I see the porn bots are in the chat. So guys, this was really, really good. This was good. This was
great.
So
Jen, I don't know how to do the super chat, so I'm gonna cash app you $10 just because I'm down for the cause. Okay, so I'll do it to the cash app. I don't know how to do the super chat thing.
Listen, just so you know, let me give people a tutorial. Whoever's listening, there's a little $sign on the bottom right of the chat. If you guys don't know how to super chat, there's a little $sign on the bottom right of my chat. And there's a little and you hit that, you throw the money in, or you can
Cash App's better, right?
Oh yeah, because Cash App
you get all the money.
Yeah. The super chats, they take their cut. YouTube is like, we'll take that. And
Ish said he's gonna send you $10, but you gotta go buy a bean pie from the corner.
I tried them. I did try them. I don't like them. I tried them. I don't like them. They got to do it with the flavor, like flan.
Ish knows I'm just messing with them. I hope.
Ish gonna get you.
We got some brothers in New Orleans already scoping you.
Yeah, out. I've seen them. Oh, okay.
Thank you, Tap Records. Chris, come back. Maybe we'll get you up here on the panel one day. You give great commentary in the chat. Thank you so much, Israel. David the Gnome. Damien, I'm sure he's gone from Can I Get Some Podcast. Javier Colong. See you again in Mano. Thank you, everybody, for supporting. Hit that like and subscribe on your way out. I will see you here tomorrow. If you have a freaking topic for me, drop it. Somebody mentioned Crazy Bone had a crazy interview. I don't know what that was about, but I'll look into it. I don't know what Crazy Bone done said.
Oh, and they said IC got canceled too.
Who?
That they say IC is getting canceled because he was on Dave Chappelle's skit or something. Like I just saw something on that.
Oh, he was. I watched it. He was, but he didn't. I mean, he didn't do anything. He was just like,
You're right. I just saw. I saw that. It was
Wait,
up there.
see. What I'm saying feels like an overreach. You gonna cancel everybody on SNL that's black? I'm just saying.
That means Keenan is next and Michael Che.
Exactly. Like, come on, Ice-T. Like, I'm not gonna be highly upset that Ice-T loses SVU. Like, he looks like the most lost person for the last 30 years on that show. I hate his line. This man really comes in the morgue and says, "Oh, hey doc, I heard we got a dead person." Yes, Ice-T, you're in the morgue. What do you think is in the fucking morgue? Never mind. I'm sorry. I'm about to
man.
go
You
on.
got, hey man, leave Ice-T alone, man.
No,
Ice-T doing his
no,
thing.
no.
I'll say this. Pick your fucking battles. I don't care if you're a basketball player, an actor, a singer, a rapper. Pick your fucking battles. If you're in the business of making money and lots of money and you want to create generational wealth, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck about half the shit that's going on out here? Yes, the Jewish run the yes, the Jewish give you the contract. Yes, the what? If you're in the business of making money, make your fucking coins, make your money, you ain't gotta put a dress on, you ain't gotta put a honeycomb on a rope chain. I'm not saying that. I'm saying make your fucking money and stop making a big stink about shit that not enough people gonna care about. I'll say that. Not enough people gonna care about your plight with the Jews. Not enough people going to care about racism. No one's going to cancel anything for you. People kept watching football. People going to keep watching basketball. People going to keep buying rap records without a motherfucking Kanye. People are still going to buy Adidas. I just bought Adidas without a fucking Kanye. So it's like people are dying on this hill for no fucking reason. You're being well taken care of, motherfucker. You had $2 billion in this bitch. You are not suffering. You're not suffering. You're not suffering. So if you're not suffering and you have the opportunity to play chess with these motherfuckers, whoever they may be, and create generational wealth, then do that and keep it pushing. And that's all I got to say about that. Gentlemen, if you have something to say, any parting words, I'd love to hear them. If not, I'm shutting down.
Good night.
All right.
Oh,
Crickets.
All
Tristan,
right, peace.
take it away.
All right. Because we're talking about free speech, Kyrie and Kanye West, I have one meme for them.
Uh-oh.
Apologize when you are wrong. Stop looking for quotes that support your stupidity. That's it. That's the message. You're just wrong. That's it. You're wrong. Take your loss. You lost your money, lost your contracts, and move the fuck on. I love you all. Class is dismissed.
Good night, guys. Hit that like and subscribe on your way out. I will see you here tomorrow on The Block with Jen at Gmail if you got a topic for me, and on The Block with Jen on all social media platforms. Good night. See you mañana.